once again, welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott. And greetings, blessings, salutations, and love. Once again, welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott, and where is it? Yes, happy Saturday. Happy Saturday, everybody. I am feeling, oh my goodness. Oh, for those who want to know a better world, I trust that's you, that's all of us who are here together today. Blessings to all of you. I do hope whoever you are and whenever you are, when you find these words, I hope you connect with something, right? Hope you find some value, a little encouragement, inspiration, something good. And then I hope you share it and share the joy and invite others to join us, because let's build a movement. I mean, movements are built from ideas and aligning minds, aligning different minds together. Man, miracles happen with that. See, I'm filled with these ideas and topics that I want to get through today, but I'll be dropping the link here very soon. I'm excited for what might happen. Oh, praise God, man. Searching for Tommy. Let's not be mad at Tommy as much as we can, right? I was thinking about our friend Tommy and his anger earlier today. Praise God. Praise God that I found my way through my darkness for the most part, but this is another part to the story. So let's do what I do, and then I'll drop the link and we'll see where we go. And in the background, yes, I'll spoil the surprise. That is, wrong way. That is Donald Trump and I. Why not? Right? So, the thumbnail today. I told you I'm having fun today, and I hope you can too. Today, this Talcottian serenity prayer. This is good for me, man. This is good. God, grant me serenity to accept the people I cannot change, the strength to support those who seek change, and the wisdom to know the difference, man. Here's the reality of me. The opposition, obstacles, the challenges of life that I found, it's brought me a lot of lessons and opportunities, okay? And I want to share those lessons and opportunities with everybody. And as I continue to grow in my own strengths and my own wisdoms. I feel strong enough to support those who feel the desire to seek change, whether it's within themselves or with the world that they're experiencing. I feel well prepared. I've been learning to trust in the miraculous. And so that kind of brings me to some of the more recent ideas today. What I'm hoping to accomplish with you and anyone who's willing, I'm hoping to help you, support you, encourage you, invite you, and help you lead you into discovering the life that's beyond your imagination, the life that's beyond your wildest dreams. It's here in the world. This is the lifetime to capture it. Okay? So I'm hoping to lead you and others so that into your own, I don't know, greater comfort. And here's this first step, okay? For the first step, and I've made some notes, and I may remind myself of this as I drop the link and open the panel. But for those who are in a safe and comfortable place, please just while you're here with me, relax. I'm going to lead you to invite yourself, right? Lead you to invite yourself and give yourself permission just to relax and just be. Kind of jumped ahead. First step is relax and then just be. Be here, be now, be who you are and where you are and with what you know and don't know. But it's like a dual process within yourself. You got to invite yourself and give yourself permission to imagine beyond old ideas. And we can do it together, right? Because I got these ideas of a better world that's available to be seen and created. And if you can give yourself permission just to be patient with me, I guess, right? Because I know I get long-winded sometimes and I go off on some of these side tangents, and I know how I am. But if you can be patient with me and just relax and just be and allow the ideas to make sense for you, and I'll be available for questions too. Um, there's many ways this better world can happen, right? It happens within, and as it happens within, it happens around. I connected some dots in my own head uh, yesterday because we'd been having conversations recently. I had been having conversations with others recently about mental health, emotional well-being. Um, and my experience tells me that's directly related to our spiritual alignment. Okay. And that spiritual alignment is here for us to know. And this was a thought I had earlier today. I'm humbled. I have been humbled. I have truly, my mind has been blown many times in the past from the things I've learned. It's helped me to believe in the impossible. Okay. There's a number of thoughts here now. So I do believe in the impossible. And these thoughts I had earlier today, I admit it, I am proud of the man I'm becoming. I've committed myself, and by God's grace, I've received a lot of support that's been seen and unseen, right? And I'm not ashamed of who I am anymore. And I want everyone to feel that. Many do. Many do live a life where clear conscience and they're pretty aware, they see what's going on. Um, but there's many others are making excuses, and poor behavior is just being promoted. So let me get to a couple of points here and I'll drop the link. But so earlier today, I was in prayer of gratitude and just true thanks, true appreciation for this life and what it's become. Because the little boy in me, my memory, that little boy had no clue what was going on or where I was going most of the time. And that bothered me a lot because I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know what was happening. And I was so anxious and worried without realizing it. My anxiousness and my worry had become a habit. Anyway, back to the point. That little boy grew up into what I consider to be a pretty decent man. I still got work to do, and I know that. But the point is, it was all by the grace of God. It is by the grace of God that I am. Consider that thought with me. Don't get hung up on the words if the word God bothers you, but by the grace of some mystery, I am. And if you continue that thought a little more, by the grace of God, I know that I am. And so then I thought about by the grace of God. But I don't want to be by the grace of God. I don't want to be beside the grace of God. I want to be with the grace of God. I choose to be. Now, grace is tough for those who've been taught to fight. It's like, how do you teach yourself to back down? How do you teach yourself to surrender? You learn from those around you. You watch and you pay attention. And you'll find the examples in your life that you personally need. It's likely they're in the memories, right? The answers we're looking for, they're within us. The way the patterns of life work, in my experience, every test I faced, every challenge that came into my life, I had in different ways been prepared, right? Through stories, examples, I had the knowledge within me to make it through it. It's by the grace of God. I didn't end myself many times, man. This practice of relax and be and invite yourself and give yourself permission to be with whatever it is, right? Whatever that's troubling you or has been troubling you, worrying you, depressing you, causing you anger, causing you shame. Give yourself permission, invite yourself and give yourself permission just to be with perfection. It's perfection that breathes us all. God is perfection. You're with perfection all the time, whether you realize it or not. And I want to help you realize your perfection. It's found in overcoming your diminishing qualities, right? And the diminishing qualities of people, the poor behavior, the poor choices, the damaging. How about that? The damaging choices, the damaging behavior, those come from an internal dialogue that has been affected, right? It's been infected by toxic thoughts, negative thinking. This world has normalized destruction and negative thinking and profiting from problems and misery. This world has become hell because, well, praise God, man. I don't know why. It doesn't have to be this way. That's what I know. I was thinking earlier today, and doggone it, I didn't pursue the idea, but there's some folks in my mind that I want to invite as guests, folks who are veterans and involved with the peace movement. I said this previously, and I'll say it here again publicly. I feel deep, deep in the core of my being, in my heart of hearts, it is time. It is time for the peace movement to achieve victory. Might be overdue, but praise God. It's God's timing, God's plan, God's force, God's nature, God's life that has been given to us. And we, as mankind, confusion has been inherited, toxic behaviors of abuse and poverty and just oppression, wars, conflicts. If the option is peace, there's no other choices. If the option is love and mercy, there's really no other choices. For it's through those choices of loving the challenging, the unlovable, it's how we find ways to love ourselves, to forgive ourselves. When we can see ourselves in others, when we can see reflections of ourselves, right? Maybe our past behavior, maybe what we're seeing is a reminder of things we've done. Karma is crazy, man. I won't say it's crazy. No, karma has a divine order that I do not yet understand fully. Karma being the cause and effect of nature and life. All we know is at some point it was created and whoa, Wow, we are. Mankind has learned a lot of knowledge in the past, and we're benefiting greatly. All of us are. If you're tuned in to me right now, you have you have been blessed, right? With convenience and technology, with time, awareness, right? These are the true blessings of life that are really easily overlooked. And there's a lot of people that are more disadvantaged than us. They don't have the time nor luxury of conversing safely, right? The world we live in is out of control. It's chaos, but it can also be so beautiful, so glorious when you're with love. And if you know that love is God, the force of life, while it appears cruel and punishing, it's demanding, it's controlling. In nature, in the primitive forces of life, it is. But the spirit, this is something else. Two more ideas. The spirit of life, it's in the flesh, right? The flesh, there's words in the scripture that go with this as well. It's in the flesh. The flesh lives for death, but the spirit lives for love, lives for life, lives for creativity and spontaneity and miracles, right? That's what love and the spirit are. So love the spirit of who you are, the qualities of you, the divine qualities of you. Allow that to shine. It's up to all of us. And here, back to connect an earlier thought and bring another idea out. I've learned to believe in the impossible. The impossible is just an idea. Okay? Just as possible is an idea, impossible is an idea. The only thing that matters is what is real. Believing in the impossible gives me the idea that the peace movement can achieve victory in this lifetime. We're running out of time, but why not? Let's see if we can end wars and bring reforms to this world by the end of the year. Should God's grace allow us, why not? Because I believe what I'm seeking to do, here's the reality. What I'm hoping to do is to change the mind of a very successful and arrogant man. That's what I want to do. I keep getting told it's impossible, that you can't change anyone's mind. But, you know, just because someone's successful in one way doesn't mean they have joy, freedom, or happiness, right? And just because someone has learned how to be arrogant and controlling does not mean they don't know how to be nice and kind. Doesn't mean they lack compassion completely. Now, there are those that demonstrate that behavior. There are those who have grown and learned to become very cruel, beyond where your mind wants to go cruel, okay? The world we live in has been, well, praise God, we're a part of the awakening. We're a part of the change. We are the ones who will be bringing the new kingdom to the world. So for those who consider themselves Christians and believe in that, the return, the day of our Lord, pray for it. It's time. We will celebrate together when the wars end and the exploitation, the secrets and lies, they're all done. I want to help Donald Trump become the savior he believes he is meant to be. I want to help him bring peace to the world, and I believe I can. And I'm excited to see. But along those lines, right? I've got the strength to support those who seek change. Donald Trump claims he wants to make some changes. And he is. He's making changes. He's doing just what he said he's going to do. Here, I'm going to go ahead and drop the link because I have said a lot. And for those who tuned in after the beginning, praise God. Thank you for joining. Sincerely. I have said a lot of things, and I don't know who hears what, but most are welcome with Jack today. Oh goodness, for those who know me, you can assume what I got already here in the back. Let me I'm willing to what I can do. Tommy, welcome to you.
Jack, do you realize what a piece of shit you are that you're willing to dodge all accountability and simply insert that a person that you've wronged needs a hug?
Please forgive me if it came across that way.
No, we've been over this. I don't forgive people that do the same fucking thing over and over and over again. As a matter of fact, I'm going to show how you have, because Paul is your fucking daddy. Now, yesterday, I gave this whole community exactly what the fuck they want. I asked him the question that's been on their minds all this time. If you are such a big deal because you drove without license and registration, why the fuck did you quit driving? And you protected him.
And
you got nothing, Jack, and everything you're up here saying is Antichrist jargon, and it's looping nonsense. Fuck you, nigger faggot.
So okay. I can see that there's no willingness to cooperate or communicate once again. That's unfortunate. Truly unfortunate. So, praise God indeed. Now, the other two folks who have clicked the link in the back, you have both been advised that you are no longer welcome here on my live streams. Snafu, Stephen, you will not be joining again. So when I said that most are welcome, that means not you. Okay? I said, I even told you, Snafu. Oh, holy cows. I told you that when you showed me you could communicate with me, you'd be welcome. And you started to, partially. But I'm going to have to stand, no, Snafu, you didn't do enough yet. You didn't do enough to convince me that you're capable of having a conversation politely yet. So you're not welcome to join. And Stephen, changing aliases is not going to do anything. As I mentioned to you, you can figure out how to communicate with me. Jeff, yes. And you know what? Here, let me give some credit too. I think my confidence in drawing these lines and setting the boundaries is partly in the development, right? The influence. We help each other, or we don't help each other. I am about trying to be helpful and trying to find where is the helpful. Where are the helpful? Consider that. I heard this somewhere else, and it truly is a true thing. Look for the heroes in a problem, in a situation. Swing back. Look for the heroes. Look for the helpers. There's people out there who are willing, people who are able, people who want to help and to be a part of something. The idea is to find your alignment with those, but you got to have hope and you got to seek the answers. Now, one of the ideas I was remembering earlier is the miracles that can happen when you align different minds together as a facilitator or instructor at the Postal Service. One of the exercises I'd use to point that out was real simple. We would gather together, however many there was. Oh, that's not who I thought it was. So here, yes, here's someone who is welcome.
E.
Welcome back, Landry. How are you?
E. How are
So
you?
the top, well, I'm blessed. The topic today is really about for those who want to know a better world.
Revolution. Right?
It's what?
Kind of like revolution.
Well, in a way, it's an individual path and a collective path. We can do it alone and together. On our own individual improvement as well as our greater world improvement. We can do it alone or together. But it needs to get done.
So where can we start as individuals?
That's where I started with the this invitation. It's an invitation and kind of an example to give yourself permission. I invite, right? Everyone consider the idea. Invite yourself, give yourself permission to relax and just to be, right? And as you be with who you are and where you are and what you know, then invite yourself, give yourself permission to imagine. Imagine beyond old ideas. And this better world that I can imagine, I see many ways it can happen. A world where there's no more taxation and regulation and oppression, where we actually educate and inspire, working together to educate and inspire each other's children, right? Helping draw out the talents, the creativity of our youth. Stop lying about everything.
So one thing I've noticed is that a lot of the money I don't feel like goes to fix up a lot of the rough areas. I just noticed that walking around town, and I mean it's kind of like the cliche, right? Like, oh, they're not fixing the potholes, but in some places it's very clear. It seems to be in a lot of the biggest cities they're just ignoring them, they're ignoring the maintenance. So it's like, where is it all going?
There's many variables in the decisions of how the money is spent and where the priorities are. You know, we trust in the government to do the right thing. We trust in the people to do the right thing, but the trust has been broken. So how do we repair the trust?
Sometimes you can't repair trust with some people or some places and some things, you know.
Well,
Unless you're forgiving. We can be too forgiving, I think.
Well, yes. Too forgiving can allow problems to be enabled and to continue to be unaddressed. But this is actually what my dream really truly is. I want to convince that arrogant and selfish man to change his mind. I want to help him change his value systems because I believe he could do a much better job for America and the greater world. So I believe it's a worthy cause. Trying to end wars. Actually, truly, what I'm suggesting we as people do is support those who are in positions of government into doing a better job, giving them the tools and the answers that they need to hear rather than just the complaints or rather than what the lobbyists think. You're muted. Sorry. I think you're traveling. Be safe, most of all. Does it matter? According to you, Jack is still completely delusional. That man is running a program, and no one is going to get in that idiot's way, not with that attitude. Besides that, he's not pulling any strings. He's just a front man to sell it. Duh. It's you that might be delusional. Projecting onto me doesn't matter. I realize those things and I don't accept those anymore, right? Consider the facts, the definition of enabling. If you know of a problem, and I consider what you're describing doesn't matter as a problem, okay? So if you're aware of a problem and you choose to do nothing, are you not enabling the problem? And if you're enabling a problem to continue, is that not an indirect way of support? So you want to support the problem and just blame me for what you think? Doesn't matter. Come on, brother, sister, you can do better than that. Did I freeze? Oh, no, that was Landry. Landry froze. Yes, he did. Oh, stop. Dude, what the? Slick Rick. Hello. Hello. Yes. But he's also one of us. He's one of them and one of us at the same time. He's a human being. Here's my thought earlier. I was listening to some discussions today about Trump's plan for Gaza and the Israelis and the Palestinians. Should we send troops to enforce safety? That will be children of America being sent into policing another conflict that America has been funding. If it doesn't involve U.S. children, let's consider the fact that this identity politics needs to be resolved. An Israeli child, an American child, a Palestinian child is a child. How have we forgotten that? Now, a child grows into an older child, and sometime we call them adults. We're children of God, given life and the awareness of life, right? We get to know and say, I am. It's by the grace of God. So be with the grace of God and allow the grace of God to be with you in your mind, in your heart. For me, that was a word I didn't grow up with. I didn't hear it much. I didn't think about it much. But this last few years of my life, it's been number one focus, right? It's what I've been shown. Prior to the grace, I was shown surrender. And that surrender requires a humility and a strong level of acceptance. Those are the divine feminine, right? It's up to each of us to find this balance within ourselves, okay? When you find a position of being with you, as you, and you're with love, that's when you can realize you are spiritually aligned. A spiritual alignment, right? Aligning yourself with the will of God and the grace of God in the present moment and the present time. That's how you align your mind and heart and spirit together. That spiritual alignment, in it, you can find a silence in your mind. And in that silence of being, that's a sign of mental health. Mental health is like mental clarity. There's not obstructions and, nothing you won't look at, nothing you won't see. It's open, it's inviting. And in the silence and the stillness of being, that's when you can hear the whispers of new ideas. For me, they arise as feelings, right? I feel them. I feel the answer. I feel the feelings, right? and eventually my mind is able to put words around the feelings that I feel, and there's more clarity in this idea, and the idea becomes empowering and more aligning. I've experienced that quite a bit because I've spent quite a bit of time alone, and with my thoughts and my emotions. Hey, we've got a guest, another guest in the back. I am willing to bring up. He's a friendly man for sure. Welcome back, Lou. How are you, my brother?
How's it going, Jack? No, I just came in because I heard you talk about Palestine and whether America is going to be involved and they're going to send their sons. I mean, not to sound sarcastic, but why should the Israelis have all the fun? Why shouldn't, Americans get to murder children too? Right? I mean, after
Actually,
all,
I heard there are. Sorry to interrupt, but I heard there have been American contractors there working with the Israelis, and I heard rumors that there might be people actually paying money to the Israeli for the opportunity to go in and shoot human beings. I've heard of
yeah,
some
there
real
there
things.
there are they're human safaris. They're called. They're they're
Sick.
they're paying to go in and shoot people from a distance, obviously, because you don't want to get close and have the possibility of, somebody throwing an IUD at you or something. So you want to be at a distance and, celebrating the fact that you took a child's head off while they're playing soccer. I mean, what's wrong with that? Hey, Jack?
It's sick. It's truly sick.
Yeah, this is a subject that's really close to my heart. I've been really on this a lot lately and trying to get word out through other ways, not so much on this panel verse because I don't think people are interested. They're more interested in their dirty ass than the fact that people are being genocided, you know. But hey, Trump said it right, like Bibi, he calls me whenever he needs weapons, right? And he asked me for weapons. I don't even know what they are, but he used them well. He used them. I sent him weapons, and he used them well, right? Like, what the fuck? People have lost their freaking minds.
It's more than just that, too. United Arab Emirates, what's going I've heard
Yeah,
things going on between Trump and there, and some of the things the corporations are doing there. It is the
yeah.
world.
Lebanon,
This is,
Ukraine. It's all the Greater Israel Project, right?
well,
If you go look up the IDF, right, the Israeli Defense Force, they all have a patch on their shoulder, right? And if you look at that patch, it's a map, and the map
right.
includes Syria, Lebanon, Jordan,
Hey, Lou,
Ukraine,
yes,
a whole bunch of countries that they've mapped
right,
out as the Greater Israel Project, right? So
right,
they tell people straight to their face what they're doing, and then you get
right.
people like the freak that think, oh, well, yeah, I stand by Israel. They're the
Mhm.
chosen people. Like, are you
Okay,
fucking retarded?
all right.
Sorry, I didn't mean to mention anybody in particular, but that one rubs me really wrong.
Hmm.
If you get what I'm saying.
Um, I'm not sure if you heard what I was saying earlier. I
I just came in. Sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I feel it. I said this to a lady I met personally at a rally in DC. I think I've mentioned it online previously, but I feel it. I feel it in the core of my heart and being. It is time. It is time for the peace movement to achieve victory. Victory over war. The path is simple. I
Yeah,
believe, here, Lou,
I agree.
I believe, I believe in the impossible. And I believe, should we find a way to, in real life, make that false image happen, well, I think this is God's plan, to be honest.
Well, I don't know about that, and I wish you all the best, and I hope you
Why
get
would
to
you
where you
believe
need to be.
otherwise? Why would
I
you
don't
want to believe
know. I don't
otherwise?
know anymore half the time what's real and what's not. Sometimes I don't know if
Well,
I'm real, but I
okay, but
know.
why don't,
Yeah,
how
go ahead.
about you relax? Please relax. Please
Go
be
ahead.
with these ideas, because I faced a lot of resistance and objection. I can't force anyone to consider it, but I realize there's a lot of obstacles and reasons to reject it, to believe it's not possible. But what if we can? What if we can convince this ego, this example of capitalism, who believes in wealth and authority? He's controlled by that and he's seeking to grow it. That's Donald Trump, Mr. Wealth and Authority. Well, what if we as people help him do better for us and for the world? Because I know a lot of people are paying attention to different things, but I've been paying attention to what's been happening with the judicial systems, right? The appointments and the manipulation. It's just clear corruption. Wars happen because we, good people, sit silently. Wars happen because we as people allow corruption to be protected by the illusions of authority. We are the authority of our lives. If we take control of our lives, we let reality determine what is and is not possible. All I'm suggesting, Lou, is believe in the idea. Believe
Oh,
in
I
the idea.
believe that the impossible is possible. I mean, just the way the world is today shows that, proves that, because you're literally, we're living in a world where there's a live stream genocide happening, and very few people are actually putting themselves in the line of fire.
Are
They
you
just
here
kind of
with
let
me?
it happen.
Are you
I'm
here
here
with
with you,
me?
brother. I'm here with you,
Okay.
brother.
Well, what I'm suggesting is let's be a part of achieving victory for the peace movement. I mean, and here there's other nitpickers. Doesn't matter. Jack, why don't you do something like help stop the spraying of our skies every day? We have to breathe that nanotech. Yes, I'm aware. There's problems in our skies, our waters, our education, our healthcare, our food, our drink. There's problems in everything. So help me speak with someone who can actually do something instead of complaining about things. Please, please. I'm not furrowed brow either. I'm not upset. I truly believe this is what God has placed for me. I'm not a fan of Donald Trump, but I want to help him succeed. I want to help him become the hero he thinks he is. He can take all the glory and credit, but I want to share these ideas.
I mean, I wish you all the best if you're able to do that. I mean, I see Donald Trump as complicit in whatever suits him, right?
Right?
Whether
Just
it's,
like Lou, it's just like everybody else in this world. Well, the majority of people in this world, they're just giving a shit about themselves. They just selfish. The reason wars are happening, the reason there's poverty and homelessness is because cruelty and selfishness have been rewarded. Donald Trump is evidence. Donald Trump is evidence. By him and what's that defense, the war secretary, Hegseth, that clown. Those guys are directing orders to, murder. And so there's young men and women, whatever, doing what they're told, believing they're doing the best. And it saddens me. Lou?
Yes.
You don't have to believe what I'm saying. You don't. But I'm inviting you to. I encourage you to give yourself permission. Believe that we are here. We're here to change this world. That's what I'm working.
I do believe that. I actually do believe that. You're here to change it in whatever way you feel you're able to do that. I'm here to change it in whatever way I feel I can do that. I personalize it somewhat. I don't externalize it as much as I can, but
Sure. Hey, Lou, you are a good dude, and I trust in that. If you could change something in the world, what would it be?
I mean, if I had to change one thing, that's a hard one to say, but to individual taking responsibility individually on a wide scale, people understanding that there's nothing external that you can do other than internal. Like, I mean, in recovery, they talk about change the things you can, accept the things you can't. How's that go again? I forget now. The serenity prayer, accept the things you. I'm having a brain fart. You know it. Change the things you can and fuck the rest. Sound like George Bush here. You know the thing.
Here's the difference. In the thumbnail, I don't know if you saw that, the Talcottian serenity prayer. God, grant me this.
Read it. I can't
God,
see it. It's too small for me. Read it. Go ahead.
it says, God, grant me the serenity to accept the people I cannot change, the strength to support those who seek change, and the wisdom to know the difference. Right?
Okay.
We can do more. This is something that came to me yesterday, but we've got another guest here. I want to welcome back our brother, Paul.
Hey, Jack.
Oh my God. Polly boy.
So I'm just here today, and you can tell by my tone, Lewis, please don't start interrupting and being rude. Okay. You can hear by my tone, I'm being very loving and centered and balanced, and I'm going to be encouraging here today instead of demeaning. I'm going to encourage Tommy the next time he wants to obsess about his daddy, that would be me. Please get the record straight and be factual, because if not, it makes you look dishonest. What do I mean by that? Well, Tom, I happen to have 2 other videos on my channel where I'm arrested for continuing to travel, and I got dismissals on those. So if you're going to make the statement, right, since you're all over the channel doing all the research, you, of course, would have seen the 2 videos where I'm shocked and appalled with a U, and I'm being taken out of the car and brought to a cell and later got dismissals, right? So there's at least 3 instances, 1 where I was successful, 2 where I was arrested and ultimately successful because I didn't pay anything, didn't sign anything, and got the cases dismissed, okay? So see, Jack, I can be encouraging. I don't want Tommy to look like a low-down liar who's jealous and envious and wants to discredit me. I wouldn't want him to look that way. I love him.
I know. He's a test and a blessing for us because we learn how to love those that are difficult to love, like others had to learn how to love us. Right? We get each other, man.
Fuck Tommy. Paulie, how you doing?
Yeah.
Oh, Lewis, come on. Please.
How are you?
This is Jack Talcott's platform. This is Live Without Fear.
No,
This is Love Without Fear.
Know how you're doing. I've been thinking
I'm
about
getting there, sir. Staying away from this nonsense, this toxicity.
That's a good deal.
This complete dysfunction has been good for my nervous system, right? It's kept me out of fight or flight. It's given me some moments to pause and reflect, and be kind of re-inspired, really care for my body and myself. So I needed it, I was neglecting myself and my health and my livity, to use a Jamaican word there, Rastafari word.
Well, that's good. I'm glad.
It is. And I actually honor that too. I'm not sure. Did you see Sophia Daisy May's short video from today?
No, I haven't.
She tagged you in.
Well, she loves me. A lot of the women here they're intelligent, the intelligent ones who are discerning and, they're kind of switched on. They love me, not like how King Stephen says it to feel better, like actually loves me,
I know.
I know. I'm thankful and grateful to have that.
Here, I'm almost set up. I'm going to share this because it feels appropriate.
There you go. There's your co-hosted in name only. There he is. We love him too.
Right?
We love you, Stephen.
Public service announcement. Saturday, November 29th, 3:35 p.m.
That's today.
Eastern Standard Time, I think. I'm not sure. We are calling on Mr. Paul Enslaved to please come and rescue the Panelverse. Please, Paul. Please get well. Take care of yourself. Get better. Come back to the Panelverse. We have all lost our minds.
We love you, Daisy.
Things have devolved and devolved and devolved. We need help. We need you, Paul. We need you to help save us, Paul.
Well, listen, I've come to the conclusion now after 4 long, hard years of resistance and arduous perseverance that not even a god of all media can save this Panelverse. So,
not alone. Not alone.
Maybe the god of creation can, but not a god of all media. I'm very limited in my powers and perspectives.
You need Jack Talcott as your sidekick, Batman and Robin.
Dude, I think it's there. I do. Hey, and actually, my thought when I heard her words were, she's not alone. She's not alone who are seeking Paul's return, right? Because Paul helps them feel strong. And so now in your absence, right, while you're gaining your sanity and your health back, they're learning their independence from you.
Well, I recognize that, Jack, how very astute and perceptive of you. And that's needed as well, right? People have to remember, don't go to a god of all media for strength. Go to the god of creation for strength, right? Don't get your strength from me while I get my strength from God. We need to go to the same source to carry that water, right? We can't forget that, right? I especially can't forget that because then, I get egotistical and prideful and big-headed. I start calling people pathetic cowards and slaves and embarrassments. And it's just not a good look for a god of all media, right, Jack? I could do better. Yeah, I could do better.
We're all works in progress. And as long as better is the direction, I think we're doing good.
Right. Yeah, I saw even Lar Pole was missing me. That was a shocker. He goes, he finally realized it hit him like 4 weeks in. You know what? I love Daddy, and I kind of miss him, And of course we love Jack. That's no slight to Jack by any means. But what is Jack without Paul Enslaved and vice versa, I think is what we're coming to realize here.
It's a big part of it. Paulie charming the ladies and Talcott charming Paul. It's magic, man. It can work.
We're all keeping ourselves and each other in good spirits and good humor, right? Isn't that what fellowship should be about? Why not? What do we got to lose?
Just the anger and the bitterness.
Larpole says, I love you, brother. I don't know why I did any of that. Well, hey, that's an excuse that's used around here and it seems to work, so I'll accept it, okay? That's the communal way out of everything. I'll buy it for 1,000.
Yeah. You know what? This life truly is. It's fascinating. Here was a thought I had earlier today regarding the going to the Most High, right? And that is what, I don't know if, I think both of us, part of our challenge in life is, while we have a gift of communication, being able to present what we know so others receive it, right? That's what I've been trying to work on with me. This idea of, and that comes up because I don't know that people see what you're doing as clearly, it maybe, as I might, as some others do. But truly, you are same thing. It's empower yourself, right? The message from Paul is empower yourself, claim your freedom, right? And be willing to defy and disobey. But be prepared for the consequences, because the consequences are real, as is the oppression and the exploitation and all this other craziness in the world.
Well, like yesterday, Jack, I had someone who I live with arrested, and, it's not a good place when we're on America and we're not only arrested for having all the crap, but not displaying it, right? And then being called a sovereign citizen because you believe in rights and freedoms, and then having people lie about the charges to stick felonies on you to try to keep you in the box and get bond money, right? We're really far down the line when we have officials in official position lying on affidavits to try to teach people a lesson and abusing their official position, right? So I just stand at the point of saying, you know what, when is enough enough? When are we going to draw our line in the sand and civilly disobey? Because if not, it's just going to get worse, right? We have to believe that we can make a change. If not, we're already beaten before we start. And I think you resonate with that message too when you communicate what seems to be very lofty or improbable goals. Well, that's the point. Any of us who went through 8th grade remember looking over and seeing the poster, shoot for the moon so you can land amongst the stars. If not, you never get off the ground, right?
You know what's funny? The poster that came to my mind is that poor cat hanging in the tree with "Hang in there."
Or how about, I got another one for you. Your mind's like a parachute. It only works when it's open. I was in special retarded class, so we had a lot of those on the wall, like almost more signs than wall, so we can really start to feel better about ourselves and our behavioral issues, right? Which for me, it was behavior. It wasn't intellectual retardation. It was emotional. Imagine that. Some kind of emotional stunting or just an unwillingness to do what I'm told, right? Imagine that one as well. If you've seen that coming or going.
Well, that's actually a perfect segue to this thought I had earlier. Is there's a spirit that moves us, right? And that spirit of defiance in some people is very strong.
There's someone making a comment in chat, Jack. I think it's good to have a bit of audience engagement. You know that I'm known for that, for better or for worse. Everyone around Paul seems to get arrested. Well, yeah, because everyone who gets around me gets inspired to civilly disobey and not be told what to do with their body, their car, their house, their land, every piece of property they own, their children, get 10 you-know-whats for that child, week 1. So, yeah, I mean, these people around me have decided not to put poisons in their children, not to register them as property, not to let the corporation run everybody's life with code. So I look at that as a beneficial thing, a positive thing, that people are inspired to do more and be more and make a change, right? I don't look at that as a slight, or a negative. And trust me, or don't trust me, but, try to believe me when I say that there is a fair bit of burden there. I don't just go around willy-nilly telling people at all, do this and don't expect the consequences, as Jack elucidated earlier, right? I'm very clear with folks. And when people do get arrested, I do feel that. And I am active and working behind the scenes and sending letters and putting people on notice to try to remedy that, right? So this isn't just about me and playing with other people's lives to try to gamble on some idea that has no merit, right? This is what community looks like and feels like. You might want to get to know it. I'm cooking, so I'll be back and forth, but I'm gonna listen to you and then pop in and out. All right, Jack?
Beautiful, please. Yes, what he was saying, and let's not exaggerate either, okay? Because when we exaggerate, we're distorting what is real, and it's not everyone around Paul gets arrested. You know, it's actually a lot of what he said. People are finding their own way, right, of breaking free. And what Paul mentioned, if I remember if I remember right, the guy had the paperwork and stuff. It was available, but chose to travel without displaying it, and then getting harassed as a result. Sounds like probably trying to make an example out of him or something. That's what people with positions, they like to do, because you give a person a job and you give them a paycheck and you tell them that what they do is important, or they start thinking what they do, they got to justify what they do, right? They got to prove that what they're doing for that paycheck is important. And that's what the whole criminal penal system is about. We live in a world where you got to pay for freedom and knowledge and rent and water and food and shelter, and that's not right.
Freedom has never been free.
Well, that's because the criminally insane have been ruling things.
Oh, I don't know about that. I think it's because the average
try to
Joe
consider
has allowed the criminally insane
yeah,
to rule things.
right.
Because where there are sheep, there are wolves. When there's no sheep, there's no wolves. The wolves just die off. It's an analogy that doesn't make 100% sense, but I'm saying it because most people would understand it. Where there are sheep, there are wolves. You get rid of the sheep, there ain't no more wolves.
Okay.
Right?
Or we stop convincing the sheep that are acting like wolves to knock their shit off.
Well,
right?
Maybe.
We start actually following, conceptually, follow the Lamb of God, the one that was sacrificed for us to know perfection exists. That's kind of the message that I learned.
I'm pretty sure, Jack, that man that a lot of folks like to talk about that gave way to a modern day society that was at all based on some level of greatness, since we want to say make America great again, that Jesus character, the Mexican national, right? I'm pretty sure some people around him got interrogated and arrested and probably, had some charges or some energy put on them and toward them for the work that they were attempting to do, awakening some folks to what their rights were and what co-creation was all about, right? So that's not necessarily a detriment, right, or a negative slight. In a way, that's an honor, right? We're in good company.
We are.
That was his whole point.
Well, and truly throughout history, it's been those who are different and won't conform, those who try to break the mold, they've been persecuted. Well, history has actually reflected that those persecuted ones were the right ones, right? There's many, many examples. And so for me, the message is it needs to be more of us, right? And that is what movements are, is people joining together, aligning different minds together for the same combined purpose. And if we can do this together, brainstorming ideas and solutions with each other, helping share what's working, what may be a problem. I mean, that's what Paul does on his live streams. That's what I'm trying to do too.
Jack, I think one day we should do a part of a broadcast where we go down the list of all the people who hundreds of years after their time were recognized as great people for the work they did, who happened to just be arrested, along with the people around them, Martin King, Malcolm X, hell, Tupac. Of course, I'm being kind of, flippant there, but similar idea in a certain way. We could just go down the list of all the people who didn't want to cooperate and comply with tyranny and treachery who just happened to get arrested, and the people around them. I wonder why.
It's a sickness because we were born into a world where the society, the greater society and the greater world enables selfishness and cruelty. It's the chains of obedience, man. All these people telling themselves they're doing the right thing with their jobs and whatever they're doing, or they know they're doing the wrong thing and they don't care. It's like, it doesn't make sense. We don't have to be that way. A future, I mean, for the topic today, for those who want to know a better world, really, instead of one of profits and debts, one of rewards and sharing, right? This international banking scheme is a parasite on the livelihood of mankind and the American taxpayers and the American people. We've been, whether we've been aware or not, we've been participating in it, enabling the problem, allowing people like Donald Trump and allowing it to happen. And as a man of age, you know, shit, I'm over half a century. Holy crap. As a man of age, I'll accept some responsibility on my failure. I failed to do more as a man. I didn't understand. And that's the problem I want to solve. I believe this is the time. This is the time of prophecy. We're separating the wheat from the tare. It's happening all together. And the new ways, they're emerging. It's through us. And a better world, it starts with inner peace. If you can find your own inner peace, your gratitude, your joy, everything just seems to go a little easier.
Jack, I think that
true to yourself. I think the peace.
Go ahead, Lou.
Yeah, go ahead, Paul.
Well, I was just going to say, I think that, you know, just not only to do some activism, but also create some content. It's good when those things can roll together. Either one can inspire the other and vice versa. Maybe we get on the horn here one of these days and we take out 20 or 30 minutes and we start calling around to ask these people what they're spraying on us. Doesn't seem very loving, right? I know that you're big on the love thing. So it would seem to me that if we want these people to love us and we want to love them and love ourselves and each other in this land, we got to figure out what they're spraying and ask them to politely stop, right? Because I don't think cancer and dementia and Alzheimer's and all the rest is very loving from all the heavy metals and poisons, right? And if we're not going to do it, who is, right? And I think that we have a voice and a way of communicating and a willingness to try to be honorable with these people in good faith while letting them know what's proper and improper, right? So I'd be open to that if you wanted to explore that.
I do want to have conversations with people who are in positions to know, and most importantly, positions to do something about it. I want to talk to that guy right there. And I'm refraining from being disrespectful because I think he needs to know what you and I know, Paul.
Well, you tell him. That's where we respectfully. That's where we depart. I'm not downing you. You want to talk to him? Have at it. I don't really have much to say to Mr. Trump, as one of the Mexicans who used to talk about him would say.
Paul, I don't know if this is a good idea or a bad idea to bring up, but I was thinking of, imagine the idea, the results of you introducing your dad to Trump. Because
say that again. Me introducing my father to Donald Trump.
What the hell?
Yeah, right. That's my reaction. Jack, what are you up to? What kind of mischievous ideas are you playing into just for entertainment purposes?
Are you in communication with the old Laporta?
No, not at all. But if I remember right, he was a big fan of old Donnie Boy, right? So
yeah, I don't know if that's changed. He doesn't seem to change much over the decades, but I don't count him out either, right? You know, some radical changes can happen over a short period of time if you get jostled enough, right? If you get shocked out of your slavery quick enough.
Well, he likes Trump has small hands, therefore a small penis, so it doesn't hurt as much. So he enjoys
Right.
it.
Yeah, I can see that. So when you're getting banged by the folks who are supposed to be serving you, it's preferable.
At least, right. It's not as painful, right?
No, I think what Jack would say if I had to imagine me like doing, because they like the translating Jack bit. Jack says sometimes we need someone to translate him to the layman. I think what Jack would say is that my father almost is identified with and resonates with the pride and the ego and the idea of worldly success. So it's almost a I'd like to be like him scenario because, you know, when the average male sees golden chariots and private planes and supermodels and porn stars, right? And lots of cash, they think, well, that's the big time. You finally made it. You know, doesn't get more successful and powerful and honorable than that. And some of us would say they're a little confused on how that all works.
And you get to grab them by the pussy.
Well, no, here's the point I'm thinking is I don't know how to make it happen, but if there is a way to share what's known there and here with that guy there, Donald Trump, he'd recognize he's actually not as indebted to like the Rothschild banking system as much as he thinks, right? And we can help him understand what the deep state truly is in the government and remind Donald Trump of he works for us, the people. He's a servant of the public in his position. He's not the fucking ruler.
Jack, are you sure they're not indebted to him?
It's a mutual beneficial exchange. See, that's what the elite have understood. They'll work with people they don't like as long as there's a benefit. And if there's a mutual benefit, everybody wins. So the Rothschilds and the elite, the Heritage Foundation or group, whatever these titles are, all the people behind Donald Trump who got him there, he's got a loyalty to them and he's getting rewarded. Business deals, his family succeeding, all sorts of great things. He's got people nominating him for the Nobel Peace Prize too.
Well, let's also be clear that the spirit of the world is of fear, right? Like the angel of fear, as it talks about, another satanic sort of archetypal situation. And as we know, God gives us the spirit of faith and empowerment. So don't kid yourself that this spirit of fear doesn't start at the quote unquote bottom and go to the top of the bottom, right? Donnie, like so many other representatives, has essentially, proverbially, a gun at his back or at his head while he gives these speeches. If you think these banksters didn't try to assassinate a lot of the founding fathers, as we call them, they absolutely did, right? So they're kind of given a kind word, a wink and a nod, and then reminded, if you don't do X, Y, Z while you're in this position, we'll either whack you or we'll whack the people closest to you. And then you'll have to live with that, right? It's an unfortunate reality of the mob mentality and just politics in general.
As evidenced by Ross Perot, if you remember.
Well,
you remember Ross Perot, what he said, Jack?
No, please.
Well, he was, I don't remember what year it was, but when I was younger, he was running for president and he was about to win. And he was so ahead of everybody else, it was out of control. And he was running on basically restoring the union. And he just all of a sudden dropped out and he came out and said it. Look, they threatened me. They threatened my family. They're going to kill us all. I had to back out. Right. So
he chose to allow fear to win. And
well,
many people have.
What do you do, Jack? I mean, I get it. It's cowardly, but in some ways, how do you fight that, right? If you're choosing to be involved in the system, I think you've already started at the back of the line, right? Removing yourself from the system may be the way, the system, I don't know what the right word is, but removing yourself might be the right way to bring the system down. Again, where there's
How
no
is that,
sheep, there are no wolves.
Lou, you're running off on some tangent that's not anywhere related to what I'm talking about.
All right.
Well, you're talking about running away from the system.
Not
I'm
running
talking
away.
about I'm talking about confronting the system, and it was brought up. Yeah, people have been taken out. That's why I want to suggest to Donald Trump, let's go together in front of Congress, in front of where it's publicly televised, right? Let's have these conversations out in the open about the intentions of the people to rewrite the rules of society, right? So the Federal Reserve, the money system is redesigned, reinterpreted. We address what true freedom is, what people have lost sight of, what the God-given rights and freedoms are.
Yeah, I guess.
Because
But, I guess my only point was that. Whoa.
yeah,
What happened? Did I get?
actually, that's because we got another guest who showed up, and it's a new day, and I want to be at peace. Welcome, Moose. How are you?
Hey, Jack. I'm doing well. How are you doing today?
Feeling blessed, truly. Oh, there was something we were just talking about, and there was an idea I wanted to offer. It's tied to the I don't know, it was tied to Donald Trump, I think. Sorry. If you were joining with something, Moose, you're welcome. And sorry for the harshness yesterday. My words are honest, but the tone and the way I express them aren't always the most kind.
But it's fair. Forgiveness is in my heart.
I realize that. Oh, well, see, this is what I'm suggesting with Donald Trump. He's a man. He's a human being, right? And his mind can be changed. Matter of fact, I suspect he's probably pretty easily manipulated. It appears he surrounds himself by yes men, and he hides from, well, I won't accuse things or distort, but why is this live so sad? I think it's exciting. This is actually exciting. If you can sit with this idea of a better world being available, all we've got to do is convince the selfish and successful to change their ways. That's not hard to do. You just give them better ideas of what success means. And success, in my definition, it is truly inner peace, clarity of mind, and a purpose. And Donald Trump has claimed his purpose is to expose the deep state, to end the wars, and he's receiving some pretty crappy advice. I believe that was the idea. Something had come up about the mob mentality, right? Along the lines of, there's been successes, as I understand, there's been successes in some of the urban communities where the communities work with some, I guess, sometimes maybe law enforcement, individuals from the city, but communities kind of communicate with the gangs, the members, and bring different options together. There's solutions available for this world to explore, and it doesn't include this nonsense we've been dealing with.
You're right, Jack. Doesn't include this nonsense we've been dealing with. So how do we avoid it? Like, as far as we just squash it in the moment, I think it's important to just, make some pivots here. It's the only way forward. I mean, with any group of people, things can be achieved. So it's just only a matter of time that we actually realize that.
The key that I know is important is aligning the minds together just for a common goal, a common purpose. And it's not a lifetime commitment, just long enough for a conversation, right? And if we can align on a conversation, if we believe in a common goal and we brainstorm ideas, inspirations just happen, right? I started mentioning this memory earlier. When I was an instructor at the Postal Service, I'd point out an exercise, right, to bring in the community and help people feel comfortable and invited. Individually, you can only think of like so many green vegetables, but if you have individuals come up with a list of green vegetables and you combine the list, you can come up with a great big greater version. There's a lot of examples of how when people's minds and hearts align, man, miracles happen. It's
Especially if they're doing, what their heart is called to do. That's the unique thing about this online space is when you're in a job, you're stuck usually doing something you don't want to do with a bunch of other people doing what they don't want to do. But if we're in a situation like this, we could all find the things that we're best at and then utilize that for the green vegetables. You know what I mean?
That's exactly it. If we kind of the old analogy of everyone bringing an ingredient for the soup, if we can bring something with good flavor that works together, there's the idea is.
I'll bring
Go
the
ahead.
chicken.
Oh God, Lou, please. I love who you are, and I love your heart and your intentions.
I'm sorry, Jack. I was just joking. The old book, Chicken Soup for the Soul, right?
Yes. Well, comfort. That's the goal. Comforting is the goal. But if we can find ways, the way a better world is found, it starts within each of us. Now, I think what helps. What's that?
Question for you, Jack. I was reading a study that they're doing. They're inserting some psilocybin into certain drinking water in the United States, and I was wondering how you feel about that. Like, do you think that if everybody was a little bit more chill and like kind of happy-go-lucky and like kind of got that experience with the mushrooms, they'd be better people?
I've heard someone suggest that all of our politicians should have to go through a mushroom experience, have their minds expanded. I don't think. Huh?
Have you?
I have had a few experiences with mushrooms.
We're assuming they haven't, Jack. Maybe they
Well,
have, and they've just
right.
taken it a different direction.
That's
than
very
many others.
possible. That is very possible as well. Once the mind opens, it can still continue to travel into the light or the darkness. And we have a world of corruption that rewards destructive things and damaging things. And this thought I had earlier, I don't remember the connection. Well, it's if we live without God, if we live without love, we bring damage into our own lives. We're self-destructive. And mankind collectively, the entire world, if you just sit back and look at the big picture, we're on a path of self-destruction. Mankind is responsible for destroying the habitats of so many other life forms here on Earth already. We're part of the time where it will be going down in history as another great extinction. Why? Because mankind can't figure out how to live together with nature and order instead of police departments and militaries. Let's look at our education system and how we have been raised. Let's reevaluate the beliefs that each of us have. Every religion, every language, it was given to us, right? Every custom that we found ourselves growing up with, it's just what other people were doing. I didn't wake up to what was going on in the bigger picture. I didn't see the government problems. I didn't see the problems with licensing my vehicle and registering and having insurance and all the IDs and passports and paying my taxes. I thought that was all just normal and it made sense until it didn't. And the reality is there are conveniences to the system, right? But at what point do we say, no, I'd rather be without the conveniences and just reclaim my freedom? I think that's the question Paul faced and asked himself quite a while ago.
Sorry, Jack.
I think you can also know it real quick, Lou. I think you can also know the outcome by reverse engineering the cause, right? The effect is described, or the descriptor is the cause. So the example would be every time one of these institutionalized measures was put into place, it's always on the back of a fearful event, right? It's not till some guy comes from Sudan and supposedly blows something up that now we need a passport. It's not till someone runs over a crowd of people that now we need license and registration, right? And so on and so forth, all the way down the line to the guns and the. Excuse me?
Is that how it happened? The introduction of those?
None of these things exist until something really scary happens that's scary enough that these politicians can convince all the people to sign on to begging for it together, right? It's the problem, reaction, solution rap.
It's a little bit of both. Some of the rules and stuff have been hard fought, right? The overtime rules, the Department of OSHA, some sort of oversight on workplace standards. Those things in our society were fought for in order to be created. Now, this is the oppressive system, though. Anything good can be distorted, and that's what the government has done. I mean, licensing the vehicle and having a registration, it's helpful if things are stolen or if things go lost, missing. It's helpful for record keeping and accountability, but the systems, they've gone too far. And it's like, we have this lifetime. This lifetime has been given to us. I spent much of my life resenting it, hating life, hating this world. And then I finally figured it out for myself. It feels better to love whatever you're given, love whatever you can learn.
Well, I think there is a middle ground there, right? We don't have to hate the system or this world to love ourselves, love the truth, love what's right, and love the ability to choose, right? So that's where our energy should be directed. But even OSHA, right, and all these things, it comes out of some guy, built a ridiculous house with a wood stove on top of the curtains, burned everything down, and now we need someone to come in and regulate how we build everything from here on out, right? Or someone at work throws a banana peel on the ground like a dunce, and someone else slips on it while they're reading, while walking, right, or texting. Now we need someone to regulate the floors and the ceiling and what's on them and up to code, right? So rather than us preach or teach this idea of radical accountability and responsibility and authenticity, we teach everyone to stop being accountable and responsible and just focus on following orders, right? And I don't think that ever leads to prosperity.
Should sex be licensed because there's sexual transmitted diseases, Jack?
Sex with you should be licensed because it's a general danger to the public. Sorry, Jack, I relapsed. I'm going to go finish my cooking. I was trying to be loving and kind.
You're doing so good. Lou is a trigger.
Relapse is part of recovery, Jack. Lou is my trigger. There's no denying it.
I know.
I'm serious, Jack. Should we license sex because people fuck people with diseases in their body?
Lou.
Sorry,
no.
I didn't mean to be so graphic.
No. And there was the other question about mushrooms in the water supply. No, not without people's consent, awareness, desire. We live in a world where it's just been power chooses, violence rules, but we're better than that. We can treat each other with respect as we make our choices through life. We don't need, we have opportunities that so many people are not aware of. And I don't know what anyone has learned. I just know what I have found. And I claim that God has blessed me the opportunity to learn the things I've learned and to discover the people. I'm not alone, right? These ideas of a world beyond money, it's possible. We have the technology, we have the logistics, we have the science to back up there's all the evidence in the world that's to suggest reasons of why we should reform and change, right? We could totally transform this world, and I believe that is what the new kingdom in the prophecies is about. Heaven on earth. Heaven on earth when people unite and submit to the love of God. Stop denying it.
When Jesus went into the temple to beat the money changers, was he saying money was bad?
He was saying the selfishness and the corruption, taking that, and it's actually, that's a message. I took that as a message for the inner work as well. If you consider your body and your mind the temple of God like it was created to be, you should get righteously pissed off at yourself at the corruption and the focus on the money, right? Because if you're disgracing you by holding you back from holiness, well, that's not right. And Jesus was, people bring that up when he showed that righteous anger, but he was a man of power. He could have done some righteous damage, so he showed a lot of restraint, even though the whip may have come out, if it did.
But the point is, I don't think that he was saying that money is bad. I believe the idea was that the changing of money from something sterile to something fertile is what was bad. And that's what the money changers were doing. They were changing the money into an instrument that had its own fertility through usury and interest, where it's supposed to just be a sterile store of value that can be traded easily.
Well, actually, Lou, I was thinking of offering this to you previously.
Okay.
I encourage you to check this out. Christspiracy actually discusses quite in depth about the time of Jesus and his behavior at the temple. Now, they present the case, just so you're aware, that Jesus was against the animal sacrifice, that the temple had turned into a butcher shop with rivers of blood pouring out of it, and it was quite disgusting by the sounds of it.
Yes, he was against that. From my understanding, whether he was real or not, the idea was that he was against it, but not just the animal sacrifices, also the sacrificing of children. There's plenty
Well,
of documentation that the people that he was whipping were also crucifying 10, 11, 12-year-old boys upside down as a sacrifice to God. Right?
not in the temple.
Well, I believe it's
You could
documented.
argue, Lou, that the process of killing the animal and charring it and eating it and all the rest is in fact a form of sacrifice and burnt offering, right? It really doesn't matter what the intention is. It's not like we absolutely need it to survive or thrive, as far as I understand it. I know that we don't need to get into it. I know you're going to give me some counterpoints. I won't contend that that's absolutely true and correct, but there's also passages in Isaiah that talks about he who kills an ox is like he who kills a man. Again, life is life, right? And I don't see how anybody could legitimately explain how one form of life has an absolute right to dominate, enslave, and genocide and kill another form of life. And if you can legitimize that, please don't cry to me when the top of the food chain does it to you. That's all I'm asking. right? Because best believe there are people out there who literally want to cage you and consume you metaphysically, physically, and otherwise.
There's entities that feed off of our willingness to share suffering, cruelty, murder. I'm convinced that we are spiritual beings, right? And there are spiritual beings that are with us too. And there's a spirit that moves us, whether we're aware of it or not. I identify the spirit that's with me by how I feel, right? My emotions are a big part of the spirit. And people have these demons inside of them. Not to name names, but Tommy's got an angry demon inside of him anytime he comes around me or Paulie. But
Sadly,
it's
I suspect Tommy is just somewhat mentally ill. I could be
he's
wrong.
he's lived the life he's lived, and I can see myself in him. He's got a good heart. He cares deeply for animals. He cares about people who are suffering, and he wants to do good in the world. I believe in that. But
Is Tommy a vegan?
I'm pretty sure not.
Oh, because that would make sense, but whatever.
What?
Nothing.
Actually, I
I don't
think
want to get
there
into
may
it.
be. I actually think there may be a connection between meat consumption and energies of anger, energies of despair.
It's actually the other way around, but that's okay.
Mm,
You don't have to
fascinating.
believe. You don't have
I
to
don't know.
believe me. It's okay.
My experience has been my way, and I'm so grateful that I chose to change because I did look at my choices from a I don't know, a compassionate view. I don't need to take a life for my taste buds to enjoy some flavors.
It's not for me. It's not about flavors. You think I wouldn't like to have a nice pizza right now? I would devour it like a fucking cow. I would devour it. And you think I don't fucking think about, oh man, I'm gonna go to Italy. I'm not gonna have pizza. Oh my god, I gotta suffer that. It's not about that, Jack. It's about what's true and what's real, right? For me, it doesn't have to be your truth,
Yeah,
right?
you can believe whatever you want, but I do invite you to imagine beyond old ideas with me, right?
Well, when you understand, when you've grown, for me, like just for me, you don't have to believe it or anything. I've grown up around farms. I've been on farms my whole life. I've seen what farmers do. I've seen how crops are grown. I've seen how animals are grown. I've raised my own animals. I've had crops, all of it. So I understand it very profoundly, and I understand how it works and the harms and the benefits. And
You
that
understand.
that's the problem. People believe that eating a certain way it does not create harm, but they're just
Great,
lying
great.
to themselves.
So you claim, and I know you
Yeah,
want to argue that, and
I'm not
I
gonna
and
argue. I'll
but
leave.
I
I'll leave it there. I'll leave it there.
I'll remind you, you've learned what you've learned based on your experience. And I truly invite you and encourage you to check out the Christ Spiracy documentary.
I
Um,
will. Where's it on YouTube?
it's on their own thing, uh, their
So it's
website.
called Christspiracy.
The link is in the back, and I dropped the
Oh,
link
okay. I'll check it out.
somewhere back there. There it is. Um, it's I made my choices based on what I was learning about the environment and the waste, right? And the cruelty. I never thought about, Oscar Mayer, where does the meat come from? McDonald's, how are the animals raised? I never thought of any of that. And just so you know, Lou, that the question posed in Christspiracy is it presents some of those things we were discussing about the temple, and it asks the
Okay.
question. It asks the question: How would Jesus murder? How would Jesus butcher an animal?
Um, I don't know, but
Right.
there is some question about him taking one fish and turning it into X amount of fish. So, did he kill those fish? Did he create them to kill them? Did they come alive? How did that all happen? I don't know.
He took what,
A fish is a life form, just not might not be a cow, might not have the sensitive eyes of a sheep or a lamb.
tell you what, please check it out.
I will.
Because there is a lot that guy, the guy who directed or produced that documentary, Cameron Waters, he I've listened to a number of things with him and Aaron Abkey, and it sounds like there's a lot of newer scholarship, maybe the right word, newer scholarship and newer discoveries on some of the past records and translations. The world continues to change, and many people think the King James version of the Bible, that's the only thing to learn from. But there's been more discoveries since then. There's things that aren't in there that could be and that support it. But
I've also heard that the idea of daily bread has been changed and originally was daily meat, and there's evidence of it. So I don't know.
well,
You
sure,
just
by
you
those,
decide if it's real or not. But
yeah.
I've heard those arguments.
And I lean to the side that our God is a God of mercy and seeks mercy more than sacrifice, seeks righteousness above all, right? Because that's what love brings. It's what love offers. But we live in a world where the unrighteous have been given positions of authority and wealth, influence in this world. But just because they have that doesn't mean that good people have to continue allowing the corruption to continue. And I think we are. We've got the knowledge. We've got the knowledge, and I know in my heart there are many ways to achieve this. If we believe that we should get these ideas into the mind of Donald Trump, actually bringing the Democrats and Republicans together so that we can save the lives of the Palestinian and Israeli and Ukrainian and American children, and we can help save children all around the world if we do what is right. So if we believe that we could do something with these ideas, and Donald Trump, he's got the position and the connections, why not? What could we do?
Hey, Jack, you know the Bible a little bit better than I do, I suspect. Um, there's this idea that this whole Zionism thing and the genocide that's happening right now is actually being pushed and promoted and orchestrated by Christian Zionists more so than Jewish Zionists, if you get what I'm saying, because apparently there's exponentially more Christian Zionists than there are Jewish Zionists, and their idea of the end times is where the whole world comes against Israel, destroys Israel, and then Judaism dies and everybody becomes Christian. So they're almost sacrificing the Palestinians in a sort of way. It's a sacrifice. It's a blood sacrifice. Christians doing a blood sacrifice. Have you ever heard of this idea?
Yes, and you didn't answer my question.
Sorry. Well, oh, I apologize. I don't listen well, Jack. I'm a little retarded. I apologize.
But see, this is the thing, though. If
Okay,
you
ask
did,
it again. I'm sorry.
well, if you did listen more, especially with me, what I was asking is if we believed that ending wars, bringing a victory to the peace movement, and actually having the people gain control of the persons employed in government, right? The people gain control of government in America. I believe we can do it. I'm not saying it should be only me, but if we were to consider that getting these ideas to Donald Trump is a good idea, who might be willing to help us with that? What could we do? Who might be willing to?
I mean, the only answer is you, Jack.
But I asked you, and so
I would say
you can
you.
only think of me.
I think you have the idea. You need to bring it forth because
Right.
it's more clear
But
in your mind than it is
okay,
in anybody else's. So you have the ability to do that.
okay. But
Then
Lou,
it's you.
I've got you here. I've got you now. We've been talking about I've been talking about these ideas, the benefits of aligning minds and hearts together. I suggested to you. So do you not think these ideas are good, or do you don't think they should go to Donald
Oh my
Trump?
God! Of course, I believe that wars should end. Of course, I believe all this. Well, secrets maybe to some degree, governmental or ruler. I don't know. I mean, secrets to some degree. Everybody has secrets, and sometimes secrets can be good. But definitely ending wars. I believe in that idea. If
Okay.
it were possible, I would be right with you. I'm not saying it's not
And
possible.
that's what I'm asking you to believe. I'm asking you to believe, just for the sake of discussion, right? We can just play along and have conversations and allow the imagination to wander. But if we wanted wars to end, I mean, I kind of think that it would involve the U.S. and their government, right? Because they're involved in a lot of the wars. And by appearance, by title, who's responsible for the U.S. government right now?
Well, the wars. I personally believe that the soldiers are responsible for the wars, not the
Okay, but
government.
I asked about responsible for the government. So you don't think the government has any responsibility in the wars? I'm sorry, I missed what you said.
Yeah, I guess to some degree, but
Okay.
if the soldiers said, "No, I'm not doing this," then there'd be no
Uh-huh.
wars. It would be
Do you
over.
think if they didn't have a paycheck, they would do that?
Maybe.
Do you think they would volunteer and go to war and get deployed into states of aggression without a paycheck just because someone told them to? I mean, this Lou, how are you not, you want to blame the soldiers for
Yes.
war instead of acknowledging that the United States government has a responsibility in that? How do you not?
I mean, everybody's responsible to some degree, but the end result of war is death. And who's making that death happen? It's the soldiers. They're pulling the
Okay,
trigger.
yes, they're doing what they are told, right?
Maybe they shouldn't do that.
Okay, well, and how about who's going to hold accountable the ones who are telling those young men and women to go murder others?
The ones
Who's
being
going to
told to murder
who's
others, they're the
who's
ones to
going?
hold them accountable. They're the ones to say, no, I'm not going to some freaking other country to go
Lou,
kill
holy
people that's never
shit.
harmed
Lou,
me.
Lou, whoa, Lou.
Okay,
How do I
I know
communicate with you?
I'm going
How
away
do I?
from your idea. Okay, let's get back to Jack.
Well, no, Lou. I'm truly dumbfounded.
Well, I believe that, Jack.
In you, what is wrong with you? What prevents you from trying to understand what I'm saying?
I don't know. Maybe I'm just
I
not
think I
smart
see what
enough.
Lou is saying, that everybody has a responsibility, but you could argue that the ones on the ground are the most culpable because they have a responsibility to deny unlawful orders. And if not, they're the ones carrying out the
That's right.
action, right? Instead of just giving the message. So technically they could be more culpable. But you could argue everyone shares a piece of responsibility and accountability in how things turn out, including the people
The
who keep
people, I
voting
was
for
going to
this and
say, you
paying
took
for it
the
and keep
words out of
begging
my
for it, right?
mouth. That's right. The people are even more culpable.
Okay,
because they're the
so
ones
Lou,
outsourcing the violence to their
holy
children.
shit. Lou, it seems to
Sorry.
me you just want to talk about things.
Okay, I'll back off. How can I help you, Jack, to
Well,
achieve
Lou,
your
I
goals?
was actually trying to discuss something totally different. You
Okay,
chose to
okay.
disagree with me. You tried to present the case that the soldiers have more responsibility in war than the US government does. And I was trying to get us to talk about who's in charge of the US government paying those men and women to go murder others while the citizens are going along and enabling it too. You and me. We're enabling this shit, Lou, by not addressing it.
Well, I'm paying for it.
Why aren't we stopping it?
I don't know. I think if we stop paying for it.
Lou, in this conversation on this live stream, I've been trying to discuss ways more than just stop it, just pretending it doesn't exist, blaming the workers, right? That's such an oppressive mindset. You don't even hear yourself, Lou. I'm confident. You're not hearing me either. Not yet. But I appreciate your trying.
Well, help me help you, or help me understand you better.
Well, that's just the thing with truth. It can be explained, but only you can understand it. Because only you can choose to accept it, to consider it. But I've tried offering ideas and I'm not finding a lot of willingness from you, Lou.
Well, I am Canadian, Jack. Don't forget. I don't have a lot of pull in the American system. That's sort of much more involved. Let's say.
Let me try another way. This is a false image that I say confidently if people will help me find a way to achieve that in reality. So Donald Trump and I can have a conversation. I think he'd be able to understand me. I'm sorry if you can't, Lou, but I believe
Maybe he can. I don't know that for sure. He might be able to.
I'm confident he could because I understand him. I actually understand. Well, then again, here's the reality. All I'm suggesting we do is find a way as a community, however large or small that might be, and we work together to confront someone who is affecting every one of us, everyone we love. Let's work together to confront this very successful and very arrogant man together. He's got some severe mommy and daddy issues that are affecting his ability to
Jack, I'm right here. Me or Donald Trump? Okay. Just in other news, Browns Boy has gone from accusing you of LARPing to ask you to LARP based on his contingent terms. So we may be making progress here. He's saying, Jack, pretend that I am a billionaire pedo and ask me to help your goal that Jesus couldn't do. So we are making progress, right? Instead of him yelling at you for LARPing, he's saying, just LARP in a way that I can kind of be a part of it, right? And get some enjoyment out of it. So, if you're willing.
Well, this is kind of what I was trying to do with the idea of I could imagine your dad would have he would have some challenges finding the right words to express if we find a way, right, to get in front of Donald Trump, explain to him what natural law really is, right, so that he can get started on bringing the reforms. And while he helps us or we help him communicate it to the members of Congress, right, so they use their gifts and rewrite what needs to be written. Well, golly geez, we're going to have a lot of time and freedom from there. We won't have to worry about being harassed or paying bills. She'll be fair. And inviting your dad to the White House to meet the man that he chose to believe more in than you, and I don't mean to put it that way, but
Jack, you're really like, see, this is where I say Jack has the subconscious evil side or mischievous side. He's brought up my father like 4 or 5 times today. Now he's going pedal to the metal. Your dad can go to the White House, talk to the guy he's believed in more than you. Don't want to bring that up or anything. No, it's okay, Jack. Feel free. And you'll be glad to know, I guess, or at least part of you, the light side of you will be glad to know that my father and I have quote unquote reconnected, and I use that word very loosely, with zero accountability responsibility, of course, but I've just kind of let go and forgiven once again and said, hey, people are going to be who they are and do what they do. At the end of the day, that's their karma. I'm not going to walk around holding a grudge and doing anything outside of just being me the best way I know how. So
I'm glad to hear that. Sincerely.
Me too. You don't
and
need
let's point out the more important idea here, right? If he's supporting Donald Trump more than he's supporting me, then indirectly he's supporting him more than he's supporting himself, right? And that makes sense for someone who lacks self-worth and esteem and self-empowerment. So I couldn't really expect him to do anything different, right? If he's not going to stand for himself, his rights, his property, his freedom, he's probably not going to go all in with me either, right? You can't expect someone to give away what they don't have.
Little bit at a time. I can imagine, I can try and imagine. I mean, there was clearly influence for the generation before him, right? And so he raised with this mindset, and you are a radical for this time. There's no fucking denying that, dude. So I'm sure he's had his own, he's had
Jack, why don't you consider possibly buying one of Mr. Laporta's books and sending it to Donald Trump so that he can become acquainted with him, and then maybe opening the door for the both of you. I mean, unless you have a book, you can send your own. I don't know if you do. I don't know if.
Holy shit, Lou.
Jack, go easy on him. He did admit to being retarded. Okay. We have to care for these people and find a space of good faith in our heart, right? Don't get your expectations too high. It's a setup for a disappointment.
Thank you for that. And that is exactly what it is I know Lou's not as stupid as he presents himself to be. He can't be.
I think.
Oh no, he is, Jack.
Come on.
I've confirmed it, right? And that's okay. That's what makes the world what it is, right? We all have our own way.
Okay.
Imagine
we're all looking for the
Donald
way.
Trump gets Senior Laporta's book, and he reads it, but with it there's a note from Jack saying that, and it moves him in some way.
All right, scrap that. He's already said no multiple times, Lou. Let it go.
Okay.
No, but you did remind me. Your words, the limiting thoughts, the limiting beliefs, the story you tell yourself is what's going to come out of you, right? So if you tell yourself you're a big dummy, guess what you're going to do? Big dummy stuff.
And let's be clear, I'm not so sure that Donald Trump can even read, and my father doesn't make picture books or didn't make a picture book, right? So if anything, maybe green eggs and ham or something, we send them with a note from Jack. Hop on pop, something of this nature.
This is why I think a face-to-face conversation would be the best approach.
I'm just saying it could be a door opener, that's all.
There's many ways, many paths. And actually, Jeff reminded me of something I haven't explored yesterday. Apparently in the US government, there may be some sort of department for mental health. And that makes sense. Some sort of the oversight to monitor and collect data. But that might be a path, because this is what I see. I don't have the accreditation or, the certificates, but I understand the patterns of mind pretty decently. And we've got insanity in our world because trauma and the cause and healing of trauma has not been understood in the past. But there's a lot of people in this day and age right now. The answers for healing are available, and the answers for reforms are available. We've just got to find the willingness to stop fighting. This better world I can envision, I mentioned it somewhere recently, briefly, using the technology and the logistics we have, right? We've got worldwide commerce in most of our shelves. I was looking at a box of nuts, and the ingredients are from all over the world, right? So we're humans who are connected to each other in so many ways. And so rather than being afraid of these corporations and governments, let's reform them so they serve the people rather than the owning class, the oppressing class. We could use like the technology. I don't understand the technology fully, but between AI and whatever, we could monitor the Earth's resources, directing resources and energy to where it's most needed, right? And rather than keeping track of all the people, we just get the people to do what's needed.
Yeah, but the nuts, I mean, it's important to eat nuts. Fuck what the orangutans, they don't need them, right? Just get the nuts and eat them. I mean, who cares that the orangutans want to eat nuts?
Where did that come from?
I
mean, I know I mentioned.
Forget about it.
I know I mentioned my jar of nuts.
No,
great.
it's nothing. It's nothing. I told you, I'm retarded, Jack. Don't listen to me.
Stop telling yourself that, my friend, please.
I say it. I don't really believe it.
Your subconscious hears it. Your body hears every word your mind says.
Yes, but my definition of retarded might be different than yours. Have you ever thought of that?
Let's consider the word. I have.
What
is your definition of retarded?
I used to work with people that had mental challenges in this. I wasn't actually the guy that I wasn't a counselor there. I was actually just a maintenance guy there. I took care of all their when they would smash a wall or something, I go fix it or I send somebody in to fix it. So I was kind of their maintenance guy. But I did more work with those people than a lot of these big fat counselors that were there just for a check. And I think those people, despite the fact that most people would call them, in quotes, retarded, were much more intelligent than people that are somewhat considered not retarded or intelligent, or if you get what I'm saying. I found a lot of deep insights and intelligence with these people, and some of them were nonverbal.
Okay.
So my definition of retarded might be something else.
Hey, Lou, I think you could learn something from those nonverbal retarded people that you're speaking about.
To shut
I'm
up.
getting that. Yeah. I'm just reading Jack's brow energy, right? I'm a student of Jack's eyebrows, and that's what I'm getting from that. Yeah.
They're very expressive.
We should remake that. That's the new hit, the next hit, right? The next product is Jack's eyebrows, and you shake them, and then like the magic 8-ball, they come up with an answer like try again later, not likely, just a thought.
Someone ought to do an AI like that, man.
Jack, I love the eyebrows you set, man. Amazing. And the nuts. Love the nuts.
My goodness. Now I totally lost where we were. You guys are great. I appreciate you. What were you saying? I was saying no to whatever you were saying, Lou. What were you saying?
I wasn't saying anything, Jack. Don't listen to me, man.
Oh no, your definition. Please.
You're more retarded than I am.
Please.
If you listen to me.
That is what I want to prevent. I want to prevent.
Okay.
Actually, no. Oh, I want a combination of things, Lou. But what Paul said is the best advice. Please be silent more often.
Okay. I'll do that.
The idea is retarded has a definition. Yes, you may find one that fits and suits you. However, my definition of retarded is limited. limiting perhaps, right? There's challenges. And I suggest that the money system and government systems have retarded the development of mankind through mental and spirit and emotion. We've been retarded because secrets and lies are normal. With the world of secrets and lies, people don't learn the true answers they might need, and then they live in fantasy. And there's a fantasy going on right now where a lot of people somehow they've been bullshitted into believing he's doing a great job. He's not. The facts don't lie.
Well, let's also be clear, it's as old as the hills, but another main reason why this continues is because profit is elevated above gathering knowledge, right? It's more important to gather things here than it is to gather knowledge or understanding or pursue truth. So, I mean, that's scriptural, biblical, if you want to look at it that way.
It is what we've been taught. I suggest that mankind has been misled, and that will be the unbearable truth of the apocalypse. God is revealing the truth. What we think it to be or want it to be aren't always the same thing. But I believe I believe we are living through the time of prophecy, that this world is going through some incredible changes. And should we be able to keep our sanity, right? Not fall into bitterness and anger and fear and destruction, as long as we can stay above that individually, we can raise those around us as well. Hey, we've got a Mr. Stinky Brew in the back. I believe that's a safe guess.
Stephen?
I don't think so.
Hey, Jack. You're all right. How you doing?
Yeah, I thought
I'm
so.
Englishman. You remember me.
I think
Hey,
I
Paul.
do.
Hey, Lou.
Welcome back, Mr. Stinky Brew. We had some sort of disagreement, and I can't remember what it was.
It was to do with the thoughts, I believe it, or not. If I'm correct, it was to do with the thoughts when the thoughts were on. There's certain things that I don't. Yeah, but that's by the by. They're not here, so there's no point talking about it, is there really?
Jack, do my ears deceive me, or is that in fact Sir Paul McCartney? Change your name, sir, and put the picture up. Let's go.
I wish I was. I wish I had a bank account, but no, it's not. Unfortunately, yeah. I was just listening to Lou. What Lou was saying when he was on about how he works.
Oh, please don't. Sorry.
No, as he was working at maintenance. One of my first jobs, I was tiling. Really easy job to do. Construction. And I was doing it, and we used to have to go to like mental institutions and stuff like that, and we retile. And the amount of people that used to talk to me, who were obviously unwell, mentally unwell, and then every time you went back, they'd come back to you. It was as though you was better at talking to them than the actual doctors were. Do you know what I mean? Because there was no judgment. It was just sort of. They just come up to you casually, start talking to you, tell you about things, and some things were kind of weird and other things, but you just give your sort of opinion on it, and they really appreciated it. And then the next time you come back, they'd make a beeline towards you, and straight away they're like, "You're right. Do you understand what I mean, Louis?"
Yes.
Because there's no judgment there whatsoever. It was just sort of, it's something that
most
always
people don't listen to them, don't actually see them as having any value. And if you just see them with value, they're totally different.
Yeah, but even though there's,
in front of your eyes.
A lot of people, a lot of the things they were saying to me was crazy. But to me, I know it's daft as I'm gratin or whatever. I'm just taking it as entertainment. Do you know what I mean? Talking to these people, as long as they're not going to hurt me, I'm not bothered. You know what I mean? So you're just in that world. You know what I mean? Talking to them, and then you do say, yeah, but you can't think like that, mate. You know what I mean? There's no judgment there, but you just totally put it out there, and it's like an honesty that obviously the doctors or the psychiatrists probably don't have, because there's always that judgment there.
That's
Are you
right.
with
To
me?
judge them, exactly.
Yeah, because they're there to do a job. So therefore, when that person walks in, they're going for a procedure. Whereas me, you're just chatting away
Hey,
as you know what I mean, pulling the cistern off the toilet and
Mr.
retiling it.
Stinky Group.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry to interrupt, but I'm
Let's get back to
remembering
Jack.
more about you. You love to talk.
I do. I can go on.
Please be aware. I appreciate those are great stories, right? Firsthand experience of working with, serving those who are challenged and a little bit different. It's eye opening, and I love what you're sharing. You're able to see the the humanity, the gift that they are. They've got talents and perspectives, and we live in a world where a lot of people are left unseen, right? Unheard. I mean, that was the pattern throughout history. The radicals were unseen, unheard until they were long gone, and many people suffer right next to the world as the world moves on. You see it every day in the streets. People don't know where to go or what to do. They've found a comfort in just surviving, I guess. Tommy just came to mind.
Yeah, it's like you say, it's a great thing, but at the same time, from listening to what you're saying, Jack, there needs to be a certain amount of sort of discipline or accountability as well. Do you know what I mean? You can't have a household where the kids running riot and then you're just letting them do so. And obviously, maybe you don't agree with a lot of Trump saying, but with all due respect, where we are at the minute in Britain, I'd rather have a Trump than a Starmer. If you understand what I'm saying, it's so.
There's corruption in every nation, and the corruption in every nation is going to continue until the people awaken and unite. Otherwise, technology and new medications and all sorts of propaganda, they're already well in play. So it's time. It is time for those in the free world to do something about what's going on, because there's a lot more oppression in the world than just what we see around us. I mean, it's in the news, it's in the social media. This shit is sick.
I mean, you've probably seen it in the news and stuff. I don't know how much British news you consume, but the way it is at the moment is you can't say a word negative. And
oh yeah,
on top of it, it's so crazy. It's so
dude,
crazy here at the minute.
Hey, thank you for that reminder. For those in America who haven't been paying attention, I did see some of that. The UK, they're arresting people for nonviolent, holding a sign, right, saying, "Hey, end the Palestine nonsense." And old people and young people, they're going out and they're exercising their rights, and yet the obedient policemen are still putting them in cages.
They've got a
No,
job to
I
do.
will
At the end
say
of the
they're
day,
very polite about it. UK is the only place I've seen that arrests you, that asks you to please come with me, sir. You go into the constable, and they're very graceful and polite.
It is absolutely crazy compared to when I grew up, like in the early 90s and stuff. And I was involved in it, and the football hooligan that sort of thing when I was young and stuff, and that was crazy. But nowadays, it's sort of kit gloves now. It's really ridiculous. There was
Yeah, but
actually
if you support a
dance.
certain side, then you actually can do crime. Apparently, I don't know how true this is, but I just heard today there was some woman, pro-Israeli woman, farmer that got into a tractor and mowed down a bunch of protesters against the Palestinian genocide, and they didn't charge her. They let her go.
But there's
So
certain things you've got to watch the correct news. It's just like in America. There's certain things that take a stance against things, because I've seen things where the Palestine protesters have done things that you'd think they should be nicked for as well. It is crazy.
Well,
It depends.
Sorry, this is one of the problems with authority. I mean, it's still individuals who are choosing which people to prosecute, which rules to enforce at what time. This ain't freedom, guys. We've got the insane running the insane asylum, and they're getting rewarded with fucking wealth and lives of our
The problem,
lives of their dreams.
the problem is, Jack, you've got people that don't live in the world that the common person live in, ruling the people that don't live in that world. Do you understand what I mean? You've got these politicians that grew up in high class, really high class earning people. I mean, Keir Starmer, our prime minister, turned around and said he was working class. He went to Eton. He went to Eton, which is the most expensive college that you can find in Britain, but yet he still considered himself working class. It's delusions, absolutely not delusions of grandeur. It's delusions of less grandeur. They think they're lower than they are when they haven't got a clue what the working class person does every day.
Right. We live in a world where to deal with trauma, people have normalized disassociation. And when you've got a society of people that are disassociated from the reality that they're facing, they're easily manipulated. And we've got the world is a stage. Everyone is an actor. Many people are acting like they know what they're doing when they don't. And I will raise as exhibit A again. Donald Trump is a perfect example. He's got people fooled into thinking he knows what he's doing, and he might have an idea of what he's doing, but he doesn't know the damages he's causing. He doesn't know the mistakes he's making. Not when he's going to meet the maker, when he reaches his end and he sees what he's done, what he has failed to do, he's going to have some regrets. So I want to help him.
He's going to be rewarded when he reaches the end, because his God, I believe, is Moloch.
There's one God, Lou.
Well, his God, what he chooses as God.
There's one God at the end.
Well,
and that
for
God
him, I believe that's the God of child sacrifice.
Doesn't matter what you believe, right? Because there's one God, and at the end, I've heard from and seen. There's enough evidence of people's testimonies, near-death experiences, people who have died and returned. There is a God of acceptance, and there's an afterlife review. And when Donald Trump sees what he's been doing and what he has failed to do, he's going to have regrets. Now, this is actually in line with the biblical scripture as well. We are to meet the Maker when we give ourselves to God through that tradition of baptism and renewal, inviting the Spirit of Christ, the Holy Spirit, to be with us, to lead us. You face the Maker. When I did that internally, right, processed my comparison of me honestly with what I could be, I was brought to shame. And I haven't done the things that Donald Trump and others have done. I've actually lived pretty honestly, but the shame was real for me, as was the guilt. And this is why I'm kind of in this, I guess, death coach field. I want to help people end their suffering.
I think a lot of problems happen as well when a leader or a so-called leader doesn't realize they're at the depth. And what it is, great leader, can be a great leader, but they need to know that they don't know enough about something to put someone in place who knows it better than they do, if that makes sense. Right. Sorry, I know I screwed up the words. They need to put the right people in the right places who know what they're talking about, even they don't. No one's got all the answers, but an expert in one field or another field has probably got the answers in that field. So therefore, put the right people in place to inform you what to do. A lot of people are too proud and they believe that everything they think or they believe is correct. It's not always the case, in my opinion.
No, it's true. And I've been saying this about Donald Trump. He's receiving some poor counsel, poor advice. He's surrounded himself with not the best, not the wisest. He's made his appointments based on his own motives.
You think he's got yes men? Jack, you think he's got yes men that go, yeah, that's the correct thing, Mr. Trump?
Yeah.
The people that sort of massage his ego.
Yes. That's from testimony of those around him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rather
than if someone disagreed with him, then he'd probably shun them off and get rid of them rather than actually taking their advice on board.
Right. And that's how addicts and bullies and the insane, that's how they live. They surround themselves with flying monkeys and enablers, right? People to do what they want and to tell them what they want. But here's the thing. Donald Trump holds the position here in America. I'm speaking from America. Donald Trump holds the position. The men and women of Congress have the positions. What they lack is proper leadership and guidance and motivation. Donald Trump claims he wants to become this savior and this hero, and there's many people who already see him like that, so why not? I don't give a shit who ends the wars or gets the credit, but let's do it. He can help. All we got to do is convince him.
I'm fascinated by these type of people, and forgive me, Alexandria, I think that's her name, for picking on you a little bit, but I think Donald Trump, Alexandria says, is doing better than most before him. He actually cares about people. How they come to this conclusion that Donald Trump is a loving, caring man is beyond me, right? I'd love to sort of get inside their mind for the day, right?
It's what he says, and it's what others say. But his actions and behavior show totally different. And the propaganda, people want to believe in the good. I mean, I have that. I guess I'm very guilty of that. But we want to believe in the good. We want to believe that we can trust in the candidate and the government. But the evidence is undeniable. How in the hell can people deny the fact that the president of the United States is a criminal? The leader of Israel is a criminal. We have criminals enabling criminals, and good people are working hard. What's the deal? We're better than this. We are the community that can confront this gang of the American administration that's deploying ICE agents and National Guard troops into the cities. I mean, the recruiting methods of the ICE agency, why they're paying out thousands and thousands of dollars recruiting. At the same time, there's the greatest transfer of wealth that's happening in history because there's no control on the money printers, right? All this money system, it's all lies. There's some person at a desk who's saying, hey, the money is worth this. Well, the computer is telling the people, hey, the money is worth this. And then we have to deal with whatever we're told. Our dollar isn't worth shit. What are we doing? Trump is selling out America for more of this worthless fiat. And actually, I heard a case that, oh yeah, what he's doing in Gaza is good for America, and what he's doing with the Federal Reserve, that's good for America. He's created his own fucking digital currency. He's making billions of dollars.
Fake news.
Praise God.
Yeah, it's great for America. They're actually in New Jersey. I covered it on the broadcast back, over a month ago at this point. But they're actually selling property on Gaza to people in New Jersey. So they bombed it out, and then they're going to rebuild it and sell it as timeshares from people from Long Island and New Jersey. So hey, why not?
Dude, that's how Donald Trump thinks. He's a property investor. That's his background. He's seeing real estate and opportunity for development, right? Got to get those contract profits too, man. Same game as fucking Halliburton, right? Dick Cheney too. This game has been going on for so long, and I had no clue for so long. So kind of just a reminder from a different perspective for all of us. We're blessed to have learned what we've learned. We're blessed to have survived what we survived and to have made it to where we are. Because I truly believe if we can hang on, if we can continue growing, learning, and working together, especially to make a better life for ourselves, it helps improve the lives around us. If we can continue that path, I really do. I see everything aligning. The new kingdom is waiting for us to claim.
It's a crazy thing, democracy, because, I mean, you I can only use my own examples, and I'm sorry for saying this because I know obviously you're in America, but like I say, you've got people in London making decisions on people that live, like myself, in the north of England and stuff like that, and there's a big steel industry, but they're making decisions on things that it's not a democracy because they're telling you what you need to do, but they're not allowing the people of this certain area to do what's best for this certain area. Do you understand what I mean when I say it?
Yeah.
So it's crazy the fact that it is sort of a dictatorship where people are saying, well, I mean, we all know London. It's Movieville. It's like the Hollywood of Britain. But then you've got a lot of places that are just fields and countryside. And what they're doing in London is not necessarily, in fact, it's not. It's the opposite. It's not going to benefit them whatsoever. So it's like, I wish it was a bit more like America, where you had state by state, where it was sort of, I mean, what's the word? Where it was sort of more individual, between cities and stuff. Like this council will spend this money on this, and this council will spend this money on this. But what you have is you have a certain parliament in London dictating what happens across the board with the whole of the UK. Which it's not beneficial at all, really, because
you've said that.
I'm trying to get the words out right. I'm trying to put it the best way I can, but that's how I've put it out.
What I'm hearing you say is an accurate description of the problem. We've got people that are detached from reality, making choices and decisions, kind of a top-down beast system approach of the top having the power. Well, that's inappropriate. That's a flipped reality. We are the power. The government and those employees have no power except what the people allow. Now, we can use non-violent methods to get their attention and to get some ideas across, but Stinky Brew, what you said is real. You guys have some real serious issues over there. So
it's really ridiculous. It's ridiculous at the minute. I mean, I was watching. Sorry, Jack. I don't. Obviously, it's your show. But yeah, I was watching something with WhatsApp where people were on WhatsApp talking about like issues they had in a school to do with their daughter, saying, "Well, this headmaster's not really good, and they should have outsourced the headmaster because this deputy headmaster, sorry, I'm going to, has got the same views as the other headmaster." And the police went to the door. 6 police officers went to the door and arrested the man and the wife for messages on WhatsApp. It's crazy.
Okay. And so what's the solution you see?
I have no idea.
Stop complying? I have no idea. This is very simple, folks. It just boils down to stop complying. Stop paying them to enslave you and stop complying with their unlawful orders.
I think that's part of it. Many people can do that, but we can do more too, for sure.
I know you're not a fan of Donald Trump, Jack, but did you see what the BBC did with that doctor footage of what was it? Was it January 5th? Did you see what the BBC did? You really, really need to look it up. What they did is they took two individual statements an hour apart and spliced them together to make it look as though Donald Trump was saying fight, 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 but there was an hour apart. And yeah, the BBC, Donald Trump's now suing the BBC for it for £1 billion, I believe.
Yeah. Okay. And so the solution I see is we reform these systems, right? We communicate with the people that are causing these problems that are detached from the reality that most of us are experiencing. And I'm in America trying to get to Donald Trump. I encourage people in their own nations to try and do the same thing. We're all in this world together. The end of secrets and lies will end the confusion that creates wars.
I think it's just crazy. It's just ask the people where they are, where they live, what they want. It's that simple. What do they need? What do they want? You know what I mean?
Why?
Go on, Jack. Sorry.
How do people know what they want if they don't know what's available? See, we live in a world where access to knowledge is limited. That's not righteous nor fair. I didn't know of a lot of things growing up, and I made a lot of mistakes on my way. All of us are like that.
As we all, yeah.
Well, we can make a better world for our future, for the future generations, so they don't have to suffer like we may have, right? And that's what I figured this life is for. I mean, I truly do. Despite what people may say, I do live without fear. Fear doesn't hold me back. Budgets don't hold me back. My mind can get very creative. I can find ways. All of us can. If we believe we can do something, we will. If we believe we can't do something, we'll either talk about it or just find reasons not to talk about it. How are you saying that, Chucky? Seriously. I've said multiple times in this 2.5-hour live stream today about my goal and ambition of trying to make that false image a real one. Chucky, you're disassociated. See, this is what I mean. We blame the politicians for being but the people.
I think what he means is, Jack, at the risk of appealing to the lowest common denominator, I think he means like you walking over to wherever Don is and like going, "Hey, Don, I'm out here." Like ringing the Ring camera on the White House. They probably got a little camera, a little Ring camera, pushing the button, sticking your head there and going, "Hey, it's me. I'm out front, or should I come around back?" Taking a bit more action there.
I've tried calls, many different departments, many different positions. I've tried emails. I've gone in person to the House of Reps. I've gone to the senator's office. I've gone to protests. I've gone where I've gone. But for people to say that I'm not trying, is that Chuck in Tennessee?
He claims it's not. I think I went through that loop with him once before. What is confirmed is he doesn't know the difference between your, Y-O-U-R-E, and Y-O-U-R. So I think that speaks for itself.
This is the world we live in, man.
Yeah, that's one way to put it.
It's we can either.
I think you do have a great opportunity, though, Jack. If you were to stream 1 week straight live outdoors with cell signal or whatever else from the halls of Congress, as somebody mentioned down there, and just proclaim, right, loud enough for some staff members either to throw you out or maybe, who knows, give you access, right? Like, hey, I'm here. I'm streaming again live from the halls of Congress looking for Donald Trump. I mean, you may stumble into him. You never know.
It's possible. But I know there's a way to get invited. That's what I'm looking for. He's got schedulers, he's got handlers. There's people who tell him where to go and what to do. There's a way to get 20 minutes. You know? I mean, after all, I'm a disabled vet. I was a public service employee. I took all sorts of oaths for this nation, right?
You could play that up a little bit. Maybe even like say you're black or so. That actually might be the opposite of what
Right.
gets you in there, but
not with Trump.
Yeah. What's that? He's black? Yeah, no, I don't think so.
Actually, he would probably welcome a. Never mind. Let me not make assumptions.
Just say you're a gay Mexican.
You were going to say the N-word, weren't you, Jack? It's good that you held off on that.
I saw someone. I saw someone on Instagram doing an impression of Donald Trump with 3 black National Guardsmen, and so it was a black guy doing the impersonation too, but he was good. He was saying, "Look, I got my black soldiers here. I found 3 of them, and he was so proud of my soldiers." It sounds like something Trump would do. Sorry, that memory may not have landed, but
I love the fact that you say peaceful, Jack, and you know what I mean. You just want harmony and things like that. But I think, to be honest, there needs to be an iron fist that's clamped down, because people do take the piss. You know what I mean? The world takes the piss. They'll look at every weakness and they'll go in and they'll exploit that weakness.
That's what people have been taught. And unfortunately, a cruel and selfish world has been created. But I do believe this is the time for change. The world is waking up. Hey, we got another guest to the back, and I'm hoping there's no fireworks or problems here. Welcome back, Dusty. How are you today, man?
I'm doing good. How are you?
You're right, Flow State.
What's going on, man?
How you doing, brother? You're right. Long time no see.
And
where you been?
The perfect thing is I was almost ready to say the energies of completion, right? But here you show up again.
Unfulfilled yet.
Yeah. We've been talking about a lot. Were you tuned in much?
In and out a couple times. So I didn't catch the full conversation, but I cut kind of the concepts that we're going over.
I've actually covered a number of things with the idea of a better world, and I offered some paths, just a few simple steps that people can take for themselves, right? For their own life, because a better world happens through each of us and collectively. It's easiest when the individual works with the collective and the collective works with the individual, but it doesn't have to be that way. For the individual, first step is relax, right? Give yourself permission to be. And then in your mind, in your heart, in the present moment of being, just invite, take leadership, take ownership of yourself, and give yourself permission. Invite yourself to imagine beyond old ideas. That's the path to expanding the mind. Simple as that. But the problem is most people don't know how to sit and be. Their mind of anxiousness, it's constant activity, and
that's a fact.
Well, that's been used. It creates a disadvantage for us, because in the mind of distractions, and even society brags about multitasking and all this stuff. It's not good. We're missing out on things.
Have you considered creating guided meditations?
I have, and actually I've had a little bit of encouragement, but to be honest, I've had no practice. I mean,
because it sounds like you have a specific thought process you want people to go through, but I just don't think that the way you communicated it to me is going to actually get somebody to do it and do it the way that you want it done.
No, you're right. What I'm hoping is if people can get the concept, try it out themselves,
Plus,
they'll find their way.
You could crowdfund Talcott guided meditations, and I bet that some of us would throw in on that project.
You know what? I appreciate that encouragement and idea, honestly. And that is along the lines of something I'm hoping to accomplish soon. Because what I am working to do is how do I bring what's within me out a little better, right? So that it can be received and accepted and hopefully shared, right? I'd love to grow. I'd love to have the numbers grow and have the income growing and all that good stuff. And so that actually could be a great product too.
Maybe do one, whatever concept you want. No fear, no secrets or any other, no money, even absurd thing like that. And just do like a first one and then crowdsource or crowdfund more of them if it's good. Can you imagine Tom doing a guided meditation?
I'm not sure. No.
It would be a nightmare.
Actually, no. That would be a great suggestion for him.
This could be the bridge to peace if you two collaborated on a guided meditation project.
Dude, I can't even get Tommy to cooperate with a conversation, let alone a project.
Nobody can. Tom, if you decide that you want to play ball, then either me or Jack, whoever you hate the least, let us know.
Yeah, it's a great idea. Mm-hmm. The idea is, that guided meditation. This is admittedly part of my weakness. Without the practice and experience with others, I only know what works for me. Right? I know what others are do. I have an idea of what others do, and I know what I've experienced. That idea of a guided meditation, honestly, that's what prompted my own awakening.
Mm-hmm. But you have to make it so that it's easier for people to choose to do the thing you want to do than to do the thing that you don't want them to do. And so that means you probably got to do more than just tell them to go meditate on the things that you want,
Well, the key is the answers for people, it's within them. But I do believe that, I think if I spent time and with a little feedback, I think I probably could do something that helps people find where to look within themselves a little better. Hey, the invitation may have been accepted.
No, it wasn't, you fucking idiots. You are the ones that resist communication. You are the mod god liar fucking faggots. You sit up here and enable each other. You support each other's bullshit. And the fact that Paul or Flow State thinks I would ever talk to them when they said the unforgivable things to me is fucking hilarious. And Jack, you enabled it. So why don't you guys just keep sucking each other off and fuck the fuck off? I'm done with your stupid games. Fuck you, nigger. What the fuck you want?
Please, let's
fuck
talk.
You, Bill's your fucking daddy. And all these people that would believe that this is just me after 3 years of your elusive deflection, lying ass, selling your house while posing that you're going to be homeless. You had people giving you money. It's worse than Wizard's cancer run. Oh, you don't want a conversation. You want to share the chats of new fucking irrelevant chatters. Fuck you, Jack. Eat shit and die.
Can we discuss
your fucking family doesn't even want to talk to you, and you act like you're some prostrated, greater than thou faggot.
No, I don't want to come across that way. Can we discuss your
That's exactly how you come across every time your pompous ass acts greater than all of us. And then you'll turn around and say, hey, Tom, me and you can take Snafu and Flow State and Polly Boy down. As if.
I know. There's a lot
You're
there.
worse than them because
What?
you're their little cuck bitch, and they play you every day, and I'm okay with it. And the thing that I can use to hit them is they've both gone against you for your obviously retarded shit, and then they come back and support you.
Are you feeling better? I mean, I really want you to feel better.
Great when I don't have to deal with anti.
Well, then you don't have to deal with it. It's that simple, Tommy. Golly geez, man.
Quite frankly, it's really embarrassing that years later you still contend that I or others need or want to talk to you. I don't think about you. I go on with my life. I show up here to interact or not, and you're constantly here. Or other places going, you guys talk about me. You talk about me. You're looking at me. You can't stop talking about me. And nobody's doing that. And it's almost like you need or want that to feel validated.
Sorry to interrupt, Paul, but in his defense, I think Powder Dusty did offer an invitation for him to talk to me and him. He didn't even throw you in, but Tommy sure brought you in.
I mean, the fact that Tommy sat up here and as a 40-some-year-old man said that he would never forgive me or Paul for the unspeakable things we said to him, which I assume was an offhanded joke about his dead dog. Like, grow the fuck up. You're too old to have so many vaginas with so much sand in them, Tom.
That's unfortunately true. I mean,
as if you haven't said or done unspeakable things concerning myself and others here, right? It's a complete one-way street with you. Complete lack of self-awareness and accountability.
Vaginas.
I mean, what I believe at the end of the day is
I'm not.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, real quick. I'm not sprouting a vagina by pointing out the obvious reflective irony. I'm not saying that I'm so affected by it and need an apology or I'm able to converse with him. I'm just saying if that's his standard for, grievance, then that can apply to all of us. So where does that begin or end, right? If we're going to interact, why not just put it aside, right? I wasn't saying that I'm so hurt and upset by it that I can't go on or interact. It's not the same statement.
I think Tommy is, though. Tommy is appearing to be very hurt. And unforgiveness, Tom, come on, man. You got to connect those dots.
There's certain things. Sorry, Jack. There's certain things I disagree with you about. I'd love if society worked the way you wanted it to work, but at the same time, I believe there needs to be sort of an iron glove and some walls up. There needs to be some sort of control, because otherwise it goes up.
This is very simple. The only reason a lot of this behavior goes on is because we're on a screen right now. We're in the same room. The majority of this crap would cease, and we all know it. And I don't care what anybody says.
But
all the fake outrage and the nonsense would go right out the window because there would be a threat of consequence. And I'm not saying anybody's scared of me or any of that either, because I know that'll be the next goalpost move. I'm just saying typically men will put their issues aside and either interact or just go their own way until they want to do WWE stuff online for clout and fake outrage, right? It's nonsense at this point. It's been gone on way too long to continue it. For you, Tom, like for yourself.
Part of this is because of the nature of the environment, YouTube. A lot of people do use this for fun and games, right? And time-wasting practices, and the characters get developed. And I think Tommy's got a character that he's gotten attached to. And it's got a lot of unforgiveness and anger in it, but I was trying to communicate with him. I just wanted to find out what we could agree on. I mean,
it's a silly looping paradox. He's got anger and unforgiveness he can't let go of, but also can't go his own way and just do his own thing and not be at these places with people he hates, says he hates regularly. In between wishing me well the other day, right? And saying he hopes that I'm okay with my hell. Very, very bizarre, bipolar, mixed sort of sentiments.
It just shows the IQ of Tommy, the fact that he cannot express himself in a reasonable, you know what I mean, way, rather than just fucking ranting and raving.
That would be EQ, sir. You're the one suffering from IQ dementia. I'm just teasing you, but that's again, we have something in common in a lot of these places. Usually, it's not only the addictions, it's the emotional stunting or irregulation, right? We could do a bit of practice on regulating our emotions in order to communicate effectively. It's what I've seen.
That is the key to self-mastery. And every one of us, I didn't learn this in school, but this is just basics, man. Basics of being a human. And many people realize it, but this idea of just because you have a thought or just because you have a feeling doesn't mean you have to become that thought or feeling. That idea doesn't have to consume you. That feeling doesn't have to take over you. It's self-mastery. We got to figure ourselves out. And part of that is through others in our life, in our experiences, whether it's online or off, interacting with another human. It's how we learn about ourselves and the world we live in. But the story of Babylon, I mean, it's not just that, but trauma, unhealed trauma, creates minds that are disassociated and paranoid and distracted, and so they miss out. I forgot where I was going to land that. Sorry.
I'm going to shoot off now anyway, Jack. But like I say, no, it's nice to come up on the panel again. But like I say, I've got my own thoughts, my own reasons, and nothing's going to change that apart from if I hear a really educated response that changes my opinion. Otherwise, it is what it is. You know what I mean?
You get to choose it. You get to choose your opinion, and you get to determine what is worthy of consideration and exploration or not. Mm-hmm. But I do encourage you, what if we are the generation that's here to bring the change, to unite together, to end the corruption, end the secrecy? It's all hidden behind this man's laws, a bunch of nonsense. The prophecies are, you could say it's coming together and it's real, whether people were intentionally trying to create this beast system and antichrist or whether it's just happening. It's happening.
I just feel I'd love it the way obviously you explain it, but I just don't think everyone's got the moral compass that you've got. You know what I mean? And certain things need to be put in place to stop that. But fair play, Jack. I'm going to shoot. Nice to speak to you again. See you later, guys. See you later, Flo. Oh, Dusty now. Oh, see you later, Dusty. See you later. Rest of you.
Hey, be good. Bye. Good seeing you again.
See you later. Bye.
And actually, we are nearing 3 hours. Holy cows. I feel it is time to start wrapping up. Any final words from you, Dusty? I'm going to give Paul the honor this time. He's going to win.
Okay, then I was hold my final thought. There's a good one too.
I'm sure. I'm sure you are a man always seeking an exchange. I get it.
All right, bye.
All right, peace. Paul, thank you sincerely. Appreciate having you. It's great to share time with you again.
You don't need to thank me. I go where I want, right? For reasons that I want to be there or practices that I think could benefit me. So it's rather self-indulgent and selfish. But yeah, again, what else can be said that hasn't already been said? Is there any creatures in the back? I'm going to send them peace and blessings and well wishes to live without fear. If they're wringing their hands back there.
There's one who's returned. Our friend Tommy. You want to talk to him, or I'm happy leaving him in the back. I'm kind of done with him today, to be honest.
I'm neutral about it in the sense of I don't have an axe to grind. I really don't have an issue, and if he wants to come up and display his dysfunction endlessly, he's more than welcome to do that. Maybe he'll learn something. You know, maybe we'll get better at whatever our practice is as well. So, whatever you want to do.
He is helping me learn more patience, and I do have a question I'm hoping he'll cooperate with. I want to know what Tommy and I can agree on. Are you willing to answer that?
Son of Paul faggot. Paul, how come you get to sit here and say, oh, I go where I want and I'm self-indulgent, and if I come here like a couple times out of a week, you say every day, like it's demonized? That's all we can do on the panel verse is go to places. Is that fucking wrong for me to do?
I'm not going to get into right or wrong. I'm just going to get into what.
Of course, because you want to get into right and wrong over a fucking driving policy, but when it comes to being accountable to yourself, oh no, we've got to gloss over that. That's been the essence.
That's you, Tom. That's severely.
Right. So are you not aware right now in this moment that you're unhinged, yelling and screaming, going off the charts on a narrative that you've cycled for 3 years or more at this point, and it's beyond insanity? Like, I'm curious, can I just have a couple moments with him, because I'm fascinated by this, if nothing else.
Yeah, a couple more moments to lie and put me in the back and set a narrative. No,
I'm
Paul,
not
we
in
don't
control
have time right now, because you came to my last channel, you acted all nice, you blew smoke up my ass, you made me think we were good, and then you came over here and started talking that shit. And I'm not here to talk to you, and I don't care about your health. You can.
Do you see how you just flip-flopped? You went from I won't interact with you or else I'll lie to you're not here to talk
Jack
to me once.
I'm waiting for Jack to come wrap it up.
See, you don't even know, it
done with
seems.
you as long as you've been mad about it. As long as you've been, now he's got Jack in his crosshairs now. Yeah, I don't give a shit about you. You won't change. You're a fucking narcissist. You don't know what narcissism is, and it's pointless. So yeah,
Is
with
it
Flow State with
possible?
you,
Is it possible the guy who's trying to?
I'm done with you.
Is it
So if
possible?
you guys want to keep chasing me like Flow State's still doing, and you have left me alone except for coming and showing up and being fake here,
Right.
I can be done with
Do you
you.
notice you're double talking and talking in circles every statement? You go from saying you guys want to keep chasing me to I have left you alone. You go from you want to talk to me to you're not.
You have consistently chased me until you didn't, and I said Flow State still is. But while you're here, yes, I'd like you to answer the question. And you're consistently
living in the past.
I'd like you to answer the question from yesterday.
Sure, go ahead. We'll try. We'll once again. Are you capable of actually speaking and letting somebody else?
Question? It said sure. May I ask the question?
Go ahead, Tom.
If your YouTube thing is you drove with no policy stuff and got away with it, why did you stop driving?
Well, it's interesting, Tom, because I already answered the question that you asked again today, but I guess you were too busy like jumping and bouncing. You're talking over me again. You were too busy.
I was kicked out. Your whole thing is
okay. So I'll answer it again for like the fourth or fifth time. Make sure that you close your mouth. Make sure you close your mouth, because you're not really interested in the answer. It's just a gotcha rhetorical question. Make sure you close your mouth, open your ears. This is why you keep getting put in the back, because you don't let anyone expatiate or expound on their point. Right. So for the fifth time, I've been quote unquote successful with the famous viral Valdez travel video. Is he back there? Is he hear me, or did he get kicked out? He can't hear. I'm pretty sure he can hear back there still, right? I have 2 other videos at least on my channel where I was arrested and got dismissals later because we don't do court on the side of the road, and cops don't believe in the right to travel. They think it's sovereign citizen nonsense. So you keep saying, like the liar you claim I am, that I only ever did it once. It's a fake video. That's my claim to fame. I never did it again. No, I did it for months and years after that, until my health started to fail when I moved to New Mexico without my car. And then I took a breather on it because it requires me at times to sit in jail and drink poison food and drink poison water and eat poison food. So you're lying, you're misrepresenting, you're changing history and the facts. It's not working for you and your credibility. It's working against you. Did you get all that?
He was shaking his head no in disagreement.
Well, let's hear him, Jack. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but he's here. Don't play into what he said.
Why do you do this, Jack? Why can't we just have the fucking conversation? No, that's not what I said, Paul. I went on this fucking show and said that was legit. I backed you up on the actual shit that's correct. What I'm asking you, among a community that made fun of you of a policy girlfriend driving you around for years, if you're standing on the thing and going to jail, why'd you stop?
Can you see the irony of a community that can't get one woman to be with them regularly or respect them, making fun of me for having a woman who was
false narrative.
I wasn't done. Can you
are,
see
John.
the irony of you
Never-
making fun
you're
of
not
me
a
because
cynic.
I had a woman or women who care about me and respect me enough to
No.
take me wherever I wish, while you and others can't even get a woman to come on here or respect you at all? So
You
ask the
are not
question again, because I
listening to
find
the
it
point.
fascinating and ironic. Ask the question again. I'll be more
It
specific.
doesn't matter if it was a girlfriend or your daddy. Why didn't you just keep driving?
It's interesting because I'm pretty sure I just answered it. Jack
Yeah.
just heard it. I'm sure the
Tommy,
audience just heard it. I
Tommy.
moved to New
You guys are
Mexico.
a joke. You guys are a fucking joke.
There's the run. There it is. There's the run, because he knows I just answered it, wants to ask another gotcha rhetorical question and embarrass himself, but keeps running and coming back because he just can't stand to hear the answers that he's not going to be able to make up himself. So we'll answer it again because Tommy's a little slow, I guess. He was too busy feeling stuff. He couldn't listen at the same time. I stopped the traveling when I moved to New Mexico without my car because Jennifer came out here to see me, something you're never going to have, woman coming multiple states to see you, and said, do you want to come back with me and spend some time over there? My animals, my daughter's there, and I have responsibilities. I was free and in the wind. So I said, yes, I'll come back with you. I wasn't going to drive that car back and spend double on gas and everything else to go with her. Once I got there, my health started to experience challenges and consistent pain. So I decided to take a back seat on the traveling freely practice because it would ensure that I may have to, not ensure, but it would be probable that I would have to go to jail and potentially sit there for up to 6 months. So again, when I get back to a healthy space and I'm somewhat pain-free, right? Not dealing with the likes of you once again here today, I'm sure, but I think I did pretty well, kept my composure and staying somewhat at peace. So when I get back to a position of feeling more strong and hardy and powerful and safe within myself, I will expand my comfort zone boundaries again to practice what you and others have not started yet because you're a coward. See how that works? So I don't know what your gotcha is, that I did some stuff a bunch of times that you haven't done yet because I'm practicing being free and courageous while you're practicing yelling online and making shit up. Okay, so I think that about sums it up.
Actually, hey, Paul, thank you. There was comments from the viewers, and I recognize it myself. You shine today with your patience, and I did appreciate, I don't know if you saw my comment, but I do appreciate you having the patience and the willingness to try communicating with Tommy again. But what I witnessed, clear evidence of denial, right? Ignoring the explanations, running away when the answers are there. That's denial.
Sure, it's ironic because he's claiming everyone else is a narcissist while he's engaging in the narcissism, gaslighting, moving the goalpost, making fun of people for having feelings while he himself elevates his feelings above everyone else, having a grandiose sense of self and purpose that isn't in alignment with who he actually is and what his reputation is. We can go right down the list. He says, I don't know what it is, but I have almost the whole list committed to memory, right? So if he would stop running away, that's another tactic, right? When he can't spin the narrative to have you changed, because he even admitted, right, you're not going to change. So your whole goal is to change me, Jack, Taylor, and everybody else here because you're just doing so great in life and in your relationships. There it is. And when you can't get what you want and be in control, you run.
It's what he's learned. It's what he's learned how to be. And
he's also, Jack, by the way, he calls everyone else a mod god. He's now taken the title of the most moddy of the gaudy folks out here. He literally wouldn't bring me up on his channel. We have all the clips of it. Has banned me and all the rest of it. Says he can't interact with me because I make him feel too much, right?
Paul, you pointed it out. He's lacking awareness of what he's doing and seeing and how he's coming across. He'll feel better when he stops fighting us. I mean, he's an example. He's inspired me with a lot of ideas, right? Some of these characters, trying to figure them out, it's been inspiring. But the reality is, all of us, when we stop fighting to be right, we can sit with peace. And when Tommy learns how to sit with peace and chill out, he's pretty fun to be around. He's got a good sense of humor. He's got a good heart. He's just so angry, man.
Well, I mean, listen, you can see it with me. I've copped to it, and at one time, you know, and I'm sure there are going to be times again where I almost use that as a springboard modality to be passionate, to express, right? But there's a fine line there between you using your anger and your passion to express versus it using you, and that's what we have going on here, right? So at a certain point, he's going to have to find a purpose other than being overly animated in order to express himself, right? Because that's apparently what he deems to be the only acceptable form of expression, right? For a man is to yell and scream and be angry and have vitriol because there's nowhere else to go, right? There's other tools in the toolbox. You just got to look for them and pick them up and practice them or not, you know, and stay angry, stay bitter, stay resentful, stay miserable, and stay in your own area because nobody else really wants to deal with someone who's constantly emoting like that, right? I mean, that's pretty obvious. While you say we're all chasing you, no, we're all moving on at times, interacting in a different way, co-creating, and you can't stand it. Well, if you can't stand it or you want to be part of it, why don't you try practicing what it is that you're witnessing? Maybe you'll get a different result, but then you'll be forced to subconsciously admit to yourself that you never really had to do this to begin with, and you've been wrong this whole time while you've been right fighting, right?
That's the inner conflict that he's going to have to face and resolve. But Paul, thank you sincerely. I'm going to do a couple of brief final words and wrap this up.
All right. Giggity, giggity, giggity. That's all, folks. Looney Tune Central, right? See you later.
Much love, my friend. And sincerely, all of you who tuned in and joined, what a treat today. Sincerely, it's no secret my admiration and the fun I can have and do have with Mr. Paul Unslave. And as for the others, we covered a lot of different topics today. If you tuned in late, I encourage you, go back, speed it up, see what might have missed. But for those who want to know a better world, it's here. I'll offer this prayer I found for myself earlier. If you allow the word of God to be love, to be truth, whatever works for you, the universe, right? It is by the grace of the unknown. It is by the grace of God I am. It is by the grace of God I know I am. And I only know I am in the being moment of this present. And I don't want to be just by the grace of God. I don't want to be beside the grace of God. I want to be with the grace of God. With the grace of God, I choose to be, because it is by the grace of God I know I am. And if you can know who you are, and you can walk with certainty in who you are and authentically be who you are and be with love. Why? Because the grace has already been offered. All you got to do is claim it. I mean, that's what the idea of the gospel is, brothers and sisters. It's good news. I'm going to wrap it up there. Sincerely, from me to you, thank you again. Till next time, choose love, peace for everyone, and live without fear, of course. God bless. Peace.